Hello and welcome to technically week 4 of Aegis Guardian League. I am Coach Bolton, aka the Trash Panda, and I am joined by Chung Solmo. How are you, bud?
I'm doing all right. How are we doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. And we are bringing you Dynasty Ruby versus ET Solar. Good matchup. Two teams that were incredibly hyped coming into the season. I think they were both power ranked top 4, if I remember that. I remember correctly. I don't know. We'll see. And it looks like draft is getting started. I know that they there was a situation where they needed to get an E-sub on ET Solar. Did the bans get waived?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it did because ET Solar's support had IRL issues and just
Yeah.
it's not like he couldn't make it.
Right,
Like
right, right.
I think because it was IRL emergency, they're waiving
Yeah,
bans.
I think
But I
they just
mean,
kind of
we'll
waived
find
them.
out. We'll find out.
Yep. Okay. Well, it looks
But
like it.
in-
So we have Nefiri first ban against Outrage, and then we also have an Ivern ban against Worm Jones. Echo coming through against Nation, kind of the standard picks that are kind of coming to fruition at this point from these players, and kind of want to see what OPs are left up at this point.
I mean, I'm kind of expecting the ban focus here to just be for against Worm Jones or AKA now Super Gremlin.
Did he change his name again?
Yeah, he is Super Gremlin in all caps. But I think he's gonna be the ban
Oh,
out
that's who
target
that is on my
here.
friends list. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's like just the ban target. Yeah, we see two
Oh,
of his
yeah,
most
there's the
played.
Worm Jones Graves, so he won't be
I
dying at red. Well, actually, he might still be dying at red buff this game. Who knows?
He might pick Zach and die at red buff, but Zach has the passive, so who knows what'll happen
He
with
can
that?
die twice.
So I think it's either a Zach ban or it's gonna be a Kha'Zix ban for ET Solar, and then they just have to deal with whatever one they leave up against Worm Jones out of his champ pool of 4 champs.
It's champ pool of 4 champs. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
he picked up Ivern, so he could always
yeah.
still play one of them.
Poppy.
Poppy ban
Okay.
against Nation, or it could be a flex pick, I guess.
I I don't know who the new top laner of ET Solar is. We scrimmed them when they had their old top laner.
Did we?
At least I've personally scrimmed them
I
with
thought
Kraken.
I thought we scrimmed them when they had Psycho Ghost, but I could be
Did they?
wrong.
Or did we?
I
Oh,
think they
probably.
did when we got flashbanged in the bottom lane.
Oh, that's right. That was the flashbang game. Actually,
Oh,
Tristana against Cotis. So
so,
Kha'Zix is up, Zach is up. See if one of those becomes high priority at this point. I mean, the Poppy is banned, so Zach gets incredibly high value. But no, it's going to be the Rel, who is one of the better supports in the game, and forces it can technically be a flex pick. I don't know if Super Gremlin Worm Jones reboot card or whatever the heck his name is at this point plays the Rel, but we can see how this kind of favors out, get those flex pits going early on in the draft, high value champs.
yeah, I'm not sure if he does play Rel. I know McFeed's play on Wards does play it, and the Tristana ban is actually a ban just against Lux and against Cotis because they both do play it. So it is another flex pick for them. And we see Swain picked over the Janna
Huh.
counter pick of Rel. I think that's a really high Swain prio, but I guess you could flex it into 3 lanes or 4. Double bot lane flex
Other
mid,
bot lane.
and then
It's
you
not that
could
good
flex
top lane.
you can into like an Ornn because then you just get free W stacks and health stacking. But we'll see a Zach. So we're gonna see huge team fight power out of ET Soul in the first 2 picks, which Zach pick is a takeaway from Worm Jones, Super Gremlin, whatever. But if you main a champ, you know how to play into it. So I do expect him to be able to punish this a lot. But Zach does make sense for an Asian.
Mhm.
He's a high active jungler, so he likes to get involved early and often. You don't see him on a lot of super scaling picks besides Lilia when he does pick it up. Otherwise, he's really playing early ganks, early engage. And we see the
Okay,
Viego. That's
there you
another
go.
one that
That's a
he
Worm
plays.
Jones pick.
That's a Worm
That's
Jones
a
pick.
diet red buff Worm Jones pick if
Yeah,
I've ever
yeah.
seen one before.
So yeah, the Rel is gonna go support here. I really don't think Rel is a flex pick for Ruby as it is for other teams just because of
No,
Worm
it doesn't
Jones'
seem like
play
it.
style.
Which
But
kind of opens this up that like an Alistar just gets more value here. Especially you can take it on 3. You can take something like a Silas out that would benefit from it. But Zaya is going to come through for Luxodon.
I mean,
And
they
then we're going
did
to see what.
hover the Janna before. I personally like the Janna into Rel matchup, and I know Feeds doesn't enjoy playing it because he can't play the Janna side of it. So I'm
Mm,
curious to see if they do pick the Janna, but I think Janna right now into just Rel Viego feels really bad because you
another
can.
good one is Braum. Braum is really good into Rel just because once you go in. But no, okay, we'll see the Ashe come out. So Swain Ashe is actually a pretty decent lane from what I can imagine. Just the sheer kite back chase down potential that they have.
I think especially into Zyrel, like I don't think that bot lane can do anything into Ashe Swain really unless they get the right angle, because just of how well that lane can just play back and harass you from the range. Ashe outranges Xayah. Swain just has his ridiculous amounts of poke early, especially early game. It can fall off if he fails to like get any sort of a lead early. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out for them if the Swain does go support and not like mid.
I'm curious where it's going to go because it feels like Nico is a ban that kind of favors towards potentially Swain mid. I know Nico into Swain is kind of a rough time. Renekton ban coming through, making it seem like Ruby thinks that Solar thinks Ruby thinks that Solar is going to take a blind pick top on 4.
I think
Just
it
to
makes.
keep
I think that does make sense. Honestly, I think Solar wants Outrage to have counter pick, so I really do think Swain is going support, but like it could already be a soft counting just because of the flex pick angle. And Mordekaiser banned against CZ after he had a pop off week on it. I think that was 2 weeks ago. He went deathless in their 2 games.
Cassio. So this screams Ornn right here. Like this just screams Ornn pick coming through with Mordekaiser ban. But
I do not like the Cassio ban, specifically because I think it's really good on Ruby's comp into Zach Ashe Swain. Just because if they do go forward, you know, you do have the Petrifying Gaze to stop them on top of the miasma and burn damage you can do. But it's also super short range, which is an issue they have with Xayah. So I'm curious what they, and yeah, like you said, blind pick Ornn. That's not shocking.
So probably
I want to see CZ punish this.
I think it's Gwen. I think it's either Gwen or he plays set into Ornn a lot from what I've seen.
So the big thing to remember about Ornn is his damage doesn't come from the W. It actually just comes from the brittle stacks themselves that scale with health.
Yeah.
So in levels, it's not with you can hit one brittle stack and it'll do the same as getting, you know, 2 on somebody because it doesn't scale. If you get the Q brittle, it does the same damage as getting W brittle.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something people don't know about Ornn, and I actually didn't know that until LCS pointed that out. So, but this is the counter pick into Ornn.
And Silas. Okay. So,
yeah, I think ET should have banned Silas. I think Ornn, Ashe ult, Zac ult, and now also the Swain ult for Silas is just absolutely disgusting. The biggest issue I see with the Ruby is their
Ooh. I'm not particularly a fan.
I'm not a fan
how
of this.
Little knockup there is, but I do like the Yasuo into Silas pick.
So I don't
feel like. Oh wait.
Aatrox into Silas.
Is that locked? That's locked.
So Silas just got 10 times better because now he also has
now he has Aatrox.
Now he also has Aatrox ult and a Swain
That
ult.
is a curious thing.
I think even the Yasuo pick I wouldn't have liked as much. I specifically don't like it because if Zac and Swain fail to get ahead, you have no AP damage, which isn't an issue. The only real tank for Ruby is Rel. So, like, it doesn't really matter your damage profile at that point when they choose to draft, like, 0 tanks because, you know, Rel's a budget tank. She's not, like, like the tank you expect. But, I think Ruby does have the hands to play a comp like this, and I'm curious to see if Solar is going to be able to punish the lack of frontline compared to what they have, which is a really good teamfight flank comp with the Aatrox Swain. It's definitely
we'll see.
Definitely going to be interesting to see these two drafts face head to head against each other.
Yep. I will say though, I do think that Ruby having to jump into Swain, Ornn, Aatrox like this is going to be rough, and we are going to go into the short spectator break, and then we will be back on the other side for game 1 of Dynasty Ruby versus ET Solar.
Welcome back. We are loading onto the Rift here. We got Ruby on the blue side, and we got
Welcome
not
to
Conrad.
Solar's Rift.
Wait, CZ doesn't have items. Dynasty Ruby on blue side, ET Solar on the red side. CZ does not have items on Olaf right now.
30 seconds.
He's recalling.
until
He's
minions
recalling.
spawn.
Okay, he realized now. Don't want it to be one of those awkward situations. Like, remember that jungler at Worlds this year that didn't buy items and then did his first camp and then realized he didn't hit level 2 and was like, ah, crap. I mean,
That happened.
it's not as noticeable in top lane just because you don't have the experience difference, but that would be kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
That happened to me in an actual comp game. It was our mid laner forgot to get
Minions have
items,
spawned.
and then my jungler burnt Flash at level 1 because he dropped his phone onto his keyboard, and we still got first blood in the mid lane with my mid lane have no items. It was
Wow.
actually wild, but we're not gonna
All right.
have the no item tech this time around.
No item tech this time. Looking up and down, do you notice anything? Do you think anything interesting sticks out, like rune wise, summoner wise,
I think the only
item wise to start?
I think the only questionable one is the first strike on Silas. I think Conqueror just would have been better with the team comp they're going against. I guess first strike for the burst on the side lane, or if you catch somebody out. But like, I think if they're gonna force you to team fight and you have two great team fight ults that you can steal, just take the Conqueror and just become a menace that they can't
Yeah.
kill.
I mean, I was thinking the exact same thing too.
Oh,
just
wait, no, cool tech in top lane. Phase rush Ornn into the Olaf. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the actual good tech into it. It's the only way you have a chance of surviving. And we see the first E-pull hit, stacking early.
getting the early stacks on the Swain here, kind of important, and they get the first two as well, so they're going to be able to pressure this. Rel's not really a good champion for the first couple levels of the game until her full kit gets unlocked. I mean, you can force level 2 if they're level 1, but it's still kind of difficult at that point, I would say.
I think it's just a smart play for Asian to let his lane start there, because then they can just push the range that they have early and make it really hard for Luxinen and Wards to do anything in the spot lane. But like, we're not seeing a CS difference because of it. Darks dropped some CS here, so they did get the level 2, but they're not really helping themselves out get a further advantage in the lane for starting there.
No, this is a really rough lane state, looks like, for them early on. See a little bit of a trade back and forth in the mid lane, just trying to get that first strike gold. A little bit of an advantage going for the Aatrox in the CS department so far, but kind of just a slow early game as we expected. No Worm Jones dying at enemy red. Hell, not even in the enemy jungle at all.
He didn't have the chance to take it because Nation started on his red or on his chickens, so
Yeah.
there was no chance for it. The thing about mid
like
lane is this is what we see against resourceless mid laner into mana. You're gonna trade your health bar for their mana pool, but you know, Reboot Van doing a really good job of not wasting CS to get minions and trying to last hit them the best, which is very hard to do on Silas early. It's very hard to CS on Silas early unless you're experienced on it. And we're gonna see a
big
nice
trade, though.
trade here for him. If he eat in there, that would have been even better. Might have had to burn a flash, but he eat backwards instead.
Yep. Getting those passive auto attacks down, getting the extra healing going, and they're going to trade back and forth again. Outrage, a little bit low. But we see Zach jump into the bottom lane. The Elastic is going to land, and the pull's going to come back in, but the Ash is going to jump underneath the turret and kind of mess the play up a little bit. Maybe a misplay from Not So Dark there on the Ash flashing forward, but here we go. Reboot Van versus Outrage in the mid lane, and that's going to be first blood over to Reboot Van on the Silas.
Yeah, so good play by Reboot in the mid lane. Bad play on the bot lane. They burned way more than they did for Ruby. They just got the
top lane. Or sorry, Super Gremlin.
That's actually a really good trade for Gremlin because look where the wave is and look at Ornn's health.
It's really hard for Ornn to walk up.
It got frozen. Look at the CS advantage. It got frozen on him. Like, and Nation is not topside. Nation cannot bail him out. Ornn is not going to be having a good time up here. This is going to be a huge advantage for CZ, and that's a very important.
First blink shot again, though. Nation's going to channel it. Jump's going to come in. He's going to miss. He's going to hit a minion, but the pull's going to land from Swain onto play on wards. And they tried. ET Solar's just trying at this point, but at the same time, the top lane is not going well for them. 42-19 CS score already.
If you look at the mini map, Gremlin's here. Like this wave, I think they could have even pulled that wave with the backup.
They
I
could
don't even
have.
think they didn't even need to let that crash because they had the backup. That they could have really punished that play even harder if they went for that. But
For
you
sure.
know, they should probably just hard push this in here, try to get the crash in, get their reset off, keep the CS advantage that they have up, and
Hindsight's
you know,
2020.
Luxon and Ward's playing really good in this bot lane early, outplaying the 2 ganks that have already been attempted on them, and you know, the solo kill, Silas early game. Base stats are OP, man. I don't know what to say.
Base stats are pretty good. We see a Tiamat versus a Catalyst in the mid lane. Kind of first components are coming out, kind of showing which direction these players are going. Olaf with the call fields tells me nothing actually whatsoever.
It's Ravenous Hydra.
Is that Hydra? Okay.
There's gonna be Hydra for a second, but what are your thoughts on the Roa Silas in this matchup and not going Everfrost?
I think Ro is actually pretty good as we see a trade in the mid lane. A couple skill shots getting missed back and forth. The infernal chains miss.
Van wins this one because Outrage already burned TP and Flash, and Van still has both sums.
Holding the
He
wave.
didn't even need the TP to after that solo kill. That's
Forcing Outrage
huge.
to come in. He's just using the Tiamat to push in the wave. You see the trade back and forth. But on the bot side, his father's getting jumped on, getting rooted, ignited, 1 HP. Not gonna be enough. Luxon's not gonna flash forward. Disciplined play.
So the big issue with going the team at first here on Aatrox is you no longer get to freeze waves,
Yes.
and you're already losing the 1v1, and you have no flash, you have no TP, and
Outrage
we
being
just
jumped
might
on
see
again
another
by
solo
reboot
kill
bans,
here.
but the
Oh
chain's
my
gonna
god!
the chain lash is going to land. Silas Q finishes it off. Didn't even get him with the top of it. I think it was just the damage from it in general.
Chain beats chain.
Chain beats chain. 2-0 up in the mid lane, but here comes play on Wards jumping onto Not So Dark in the bottom lane.
Dark's dead. Dark has no sum.
Root is going to land, and that is going to be, it's just going to be who gets the kill. And Luxon is actually going to be able to pick it up. So
I think it's fine if it goes to Lux or Gremlin there.
Gremlin.
I think it doesn't matter.
I think it's
But,
I think it's good to get your Viego ahead early on. Ruby already up 2,000 gold, 7 minutes and 45 seconds into the game. I see it pushing on the top side. Dragon's not going to get threatened though, and we're going to see first rifts starting to come up here. Asian's already in position for it, but the bot lane from Ruby is basing as well, so they can potentially get in there. Nice gold leads across the board as well. 700 in the mid lane, 700 in the bot lane. Top lane's only like a little bit, like 300, but there's a jungle difference. A little bit of a difference in the jungle as well, gold-wise. And we're going to see how these next couple minutes play out because neutral objectives are coming up, ultimates are coming online as Reboot Van lands the Abscond Abduct. Infernal Chains actually pulls him out of the sweet spot of the Aatrox Q, and
I don't know how much
that's how
time...
he was thinking that was going to work out.
I don't know how much time Outrage has put in on this Aatrox just watching that combo. Normally, when Aatrox has hit that chain, they are able to combo it out with their Qs. So, I'm not sure. I do not like this Aatrox pick.
Q3 lands, but the Infernal Chains are going to come through, but Abscond Abduct is going to land as well. They're going to just try and trade back and forth. Nation is sitting around mid lane. Hawkshot comes through. Nothing really else going to come through on that play unless Reboot Van just goes back here in a second and steals World Ender.
This is going to be such an early mythic here for the Silas, which is actually just huge.
It's gonna create so much pressure that for these next couple of minutes, just until Aatrox can catch up. Meanwhile, in the top lane and bot lane are fighting. Ornn gets out on the top side.
He got the ult out too. He did have to flash for it though, but
Flash, yep.
that's. I do not
That's still
think
not good for him.
I don't
He's
think
still
that's worth living here because Olaf still has Flash, Ghost, and his own
the arrow?
Ragnarok, and the Ash Arrow gonna fly around Runeterra.
It actually hits.
Never mind.
Hits Kremlin
1 for 1 hits the across map snipe. Not the target you were looking for, but you take those. The 100% Ash arrow accuracy at this point in the game.
I don't know what they were. I don't know what Dark was shooting at there. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't think if that hits onto Reboot Van, it doesn't kill. But
and now they don't have it for this gank, and Van's
here
here.
comes the arrow. The flash is already used, but
the
arrow misses
and wins.
from Reboot.
Oh,
Got the Silas steal on it. Play on Words went in with the Magnet Storm, and it just didn't matter. He missed.
I think it does matter because the big thing is Ashburn double sums again.
Yep.
And guess what Rel still has? Hex Flash. And guess what's coming up again soon? Regular old Flash.
Yeah.
Oh no, never mind.
No, that's
Wars had the Flash for that play, so he still has the Hex Flash, still has Ignite. Yeah, I think Ash is in a very bad spot here. I think it's looking rough early here for Solar, but I'm curious to see what they do to get back into this game. They have no pressure bot. Top's going to be pushed in, so they're really going to have to force a play somewhere in a team fight. They have this Herald, so I would like to see them force something somewhere and try to like crack plates and get gold back into somebody.
Oh, wait. Sicko going for a play there.
So CZ not choosing to aggress on that because he just doesn't know where the Zac was at that time. Zac could have just been there, and it could have gone probably still very favorable for Olaf, but just not wanting to risk it just in case.
Wait,
you know,
Outrage,
not
you do not want that. Okay. Outrage does not want that. But we already see first Mythic coming out. Roa onto the Silas, as we were talking about, from Reboot Van.
30 stacks.
It also got the first stack on it as well.
Got it at 10 minutes.
Getting caught again.
Yeah, I think
is going to land. Outrage is low.
Oh,
but
no. I think
jump in from Nation as well after the World Ender was stolen, but it's going to matter. The Infernal Chains that come through from Super Gremlin, that's going to be the passive top. That's going to be the ult he used, and that is going to be 2 kills over to the mid lane jungle duo for Dynasty Ruby, and it is looking not so good right now.
Yeah, it's really hard to do anything in that play. The second Asian went over that wall, he was just dead there. Like, his mid laner didn't burn Flash, didn't even burn his own ultimate to try to live or heal through that. So, you know, just a really good play outside of Ruby. And see CZ maybe go for something, but choosing to not fully commit to it with a Ghost or a Flash or an ultimate. Just letting the Orin charge away and pick up the CS.
We see first Dragon go down on the other side of the map for Ruby. CZ continuing to freeze the top lane on Sicko Ghost. Two passive stacks over to the Swain, though, so Penelope's father gets a little bit of value there, potentially.
Yeah, I don't think that wave is closing in the top lane, but...
Knockup's going to land, but I don't think anything is going to come out from it. Phase Rush. As we go back towards the mid lane, Rift comes down. It's going to get a couple of plates. Super Gremlin in a little bit of trouble. Invasion lands a slingshot, but the flash forward from Outrage. It's going to be responded to by a splash from Super Gremlin, ending that play. No. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Sicko Ghost is going to get jumped on by CZ. The Ragnarok is going to come through. The flash and the Ghost are going to come out. The axes are going to continue landing, and those decimating strikes are going to end up finishing off the kill. Solo kill on the top lane. 6-0 for Dynasty Ruby, up 3,000 gold at 13 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know about that one out of Sicko Ghost not wanting CZ to recall there, and it cost him his life. And CZ's still going to get the reset now, but he's just going to have a kill gold worth of money in his back pocket for it.
Hydra being finished in the top lane. Triforce finished in the jungle. See double Sunfire Cape coming out from ET Solar, so they're really going to set the world on fire with this one.
I mean, Papi Chulo rushed the Ravenous Hydra, which is...
Chain's going to land, force the flash out of Reboot Van, so not the ideal scenario for the side of Ruby, but we'll see how these next few minutes play out, because there's no real objectives up until the Dragon comes up, unless...
No, Herald in 40...
Oh, yeah, Herald, because I got baited by the Baron Timer. Outrage getting ganked in the mid lane by 3 people. The crash down is going to come through from Play on Wards. The Chain's actually going to pull Reboot Van away from him for a second. Oh, the Magnet Storm misses from Play on Wards. Let's see how this next part... Can you get the execute?
I don't know if he'll have the timer.
I don't think he's going to have the timer either. We'll find out here in a second, because he's just going to execute the turret.
Does not
Play on Wards gets a solo kill onto Outrage. Meanwhile, in the bot lane.
So I think going back to the mid lane play where the Infernal Chains hit on Reboot and then he flashed out of it. I think instead of flashing out of it, you just steal the Aatrox ult and just kill him.
Yes.
And then you'd still have the flash even if he
would have been down. Arrows coming through.
Going.
The Featherstorm is going to come down as well, and this is DZ and Play on Words responding to it. Not So Dark is going to be taken down super low. The axes are going to come through. Is it going to land? Yes, it is. And there's the decimating strike. And Penelope's father is also on the wrong side of the map as well. The stun is going to come through from the Rel. The feather pull back, just trying to deny CZ the kill or the assist. She's not going to get out of it. But on the top side, ET Solar is taking Rift Herald again.
Yeah, they tried to force on Luxit in there, but they just do not have the damage at this point in the game. With Ashe going the Triforce first item, we normally see like what is Kraken Slayer first, and then you go
Kraken,
Triforce
yeah.
second. So just Ashe really lacking in the damage department at that point. So, they just cannot lock down that kill for themselves, and they're just kind of hemorrhaging money all over the map now. Like, we already see bounties at about 15 minutes in the game. It's just looking really rough here for Solar. They kind of just lost this one really early in the game, already down about 4K. Couple trades don't go your way, and they kept trying the force stuff, and it was not working out for them, and we're seeing now what it cost them, and it's basically everything except the 2 Rift Heralds.
The crazy thing in all of this is just how few plates have fallen, as we see a little bit of trading back and forth now that the Hydra's finished. The Aatrox trades pretty well in with the wave stacked.
I
on
guess
top
that is
of
what
the-
Solar could take into Solace here, is that like no plates were taken, so they didn't lose as much money as they could have.
Mhm.
But like
Which
I
means
said,
there's a lot of standing gold for Dynasty Ruby still, just because, I mean, the turrets are still up, because you would expect turrets to be taken at this point. Flame Ward's is going to charge in. The Never Move is going to land from the swing, though, and it's going to stop the play in its tracks. So we see a little bit of trading on the top side from the Olaf and the Ornn. He's just kind of forcing onto this a little bit. And Sicko Ghost kind of trading into it as well, as we see Gremlin invading onto Nation as well. The arrow is going to miss. We're going to see Swain ulti being taken by Reboot Van, as Penelope's father also trades it back as well. First kill is going to be picked up onto the Swain, as we see them going the wrong direction. They're going underneath their turret when they should be going away from it, but they're not going to find safety there. Not So Dark is going to get taken down as well. The Slate shot is going to land from Nation. Let's see if there's going to be a potential that he might be able to trade back one onto it, but they're just going to wait. They're not even going to dive, because
I think they could redive that and then take the Drake, but they're going to go for the safer play of just taking the Drake.
Zach passive was up, so they're not going to do it as well. And they're just going to go pick up the Dragon. I mean, maybe he tries to go for a steal here?
He's gonna try. He will suicide.
He's going to look for it. I don't know. I think they're calling him off, because
yeah.
that's not worth it to lose Zach passive at top
He's
point.
sitting in the mid lane here. But yeah, no. Just gets, have the rotate timer. The Wave's in a good spot for him. He'll be able to catch it at his tower. Even pick up the Scuttle Crab for himself, get himself some more vision. That's the big thing about playing a split push top laner. You need to make sure you cover yourself. If you're going to go for big trades and big stands and just...
Yep.
Oh, never mind. He doesn't pick up the Scuttle Crab like I thought he was. I guess he thought he was going to miss CS in the top wave.
I think he just wanted to keep that, lane pressure of the freeze up.
Ornn is walking, but there's nothing to be had on the map. I
I
think
mean, he wasn't able to walk up to the wave, so...
I mean, I think he should have just told his jungle, hey, I'm sorry, but these Krugs are mine. I don't know what to tell you. Just pick up some gold somewhere, but, he does drop 2 melees worth of gold there. I'm not sure if he missed XP on it, but we might see a 2v2 in this. We might see a 2v2 in the river, but we'll see what plays out with that. Nah, Scuttle Crab is gonna go to Ruby.
The Silas Q damage there was pretty good. Starting to chunk Outrage as we play on wards. Go in, Crash Down is going to land, and the Swain ulti is going to come through, but it's not going to matter because the pullback is going to get the root off after the Magnet Storm. They're going to get the first kill, but Not So Dark is going to trade back onto this a little bit after popping the Ghost and maybe thinking he has a chance, but you see Rift Herald's actually going to go down on the top side, and first turret goes over to ET Solar, but Reboot Van is trading onto Sicko Ghost, steals the Ornn ulti. Ornn is 1 HP, gets the flash over the wall. As Nation is getting ran down, and Ornn is also going to be dead here as well. This is going to be 2 kills over. As we do see a TP into the bottom side from Outrage. We're going to see if they can trade back into this. Bot turret is dead. Luxodon uses the Feather Storm to dodge it. They're going to trade onto it a little bit.
Luxodon not auto-attacking. He
Luxodon is not autoing. They're going to turn on the Not So Dark, and Not So Dark is going to get bursted down real fast, but Outrage is going to be able to pick up the kill onto Luxodon and then just run down the rel. The flash comes through. The Infernal Chain is going to land, and the Q3 is going to land as well.
That's a big influx of money for the side of Solar here. First turret with a bounty. Picked up the bounty in mid. Got 2 shutdowns, I think, onto Outrage, and then they might still pick up another bounty here. That's a big swing, cracking all 3 outer turrets and just one clean play.
Ulti popped on the top side. CZ is going to flash out as they're still pushing. I mean, on the top side, Dynasty Ruby was able to get a double kill and a turret as well in response. And I mean, there was the turret that dropped on the bottom side, so an advance. Penalty stolen by Silas, and Reboot Van is going to go in.
Oh my god.
Reboot Van's going to be able to pick up the first kill. Is godlike at this point, and is going back onto the Aatrox, which Outrage is not long for this world. And as you see, the double kill goes down. As on the other side of the map, Super Gremlin is on a killing spree as well, steals the Zac body, gets the slingshot off, and picks up the double kill in the topside jungle.
Yeah, I don't think you can fight that duo ever. Honestly,
Nah, I think this is...
We just saw what happened when they tried to fight them, and yeah, I do not think that's a thing they can ever do.
This is
oh wait, pings are on the Baron. That's going to be a
21 minutes of the game. They can't flip onto it.
There's nothing that Solar can do for this one. They can have vision of it, but that's all they're going to get.
People are on the map for it. I mean, this is going to go down pretty quickly with Olaf, Viego, and Xayah all hitting onto it. As we see Reboot Van starts to rotate out from the bot lane into mid lane after getting the wave pushed out, pressuring it, and there goes Baron Nashor down. 8k gold lead for Dynasty Ruby. As they all take their resets, they get their next items in. We see the Jack Show finished on the Olaf. We see 2 items finished on the Silas. We have the Quick Blades coming out for the Xayah. We're getting these spikes coming through. Black Cleaver for the Viego as well. But on the other side, Outrage is the saving grace for this. He has the 2 items finished and is starting to build towards the Black Cleaver. I mean,
does Fate still build at the Black Cleaver? Oh wait, no. I thought for some reason
Hullbreaker.
I thought I built into Hullbreaker.
It does build into Hullbreaker, but I'm pretty sure it builds into. I mean, if he builds Hullbreaker this game, then
it's Outrage. Outrage is a big fan of the Hullbreaker. He builds it on a lot of different champs.
We'll see. I thought it built into Cleaver, but I might be wrong.
I thought Cleaver was Caulfield's. I don't. You know what? I'm a support. I'm a support. I don't know what items built. I don't. Oh, 100%. I'm a support player. I don't know what items build into what. Besides, I need 2,003.
It doesn't actually build into Cleaver, as we see the Abscond of Duct land onto the Ornn, and maybe Reboot Van to overchase this a little bit. Gonna steal the Let's Bounce as the Ornn ulti's hitting on the other side. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Luxodon is trading in. We see the Swain ulti popped. I just don't think the kill. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Oh,
wait, let's get in.
Feather Storm into Magnet Storm.
Oh my god!
And they're gonna be able to pick up the kills. That's 2 kills over to CZ at this point, and he's got the Ghost. He is just running down the Ash, running through the 90 at this point, and all that's gonna matter is what 90-degree pivots that ET Solar is gonna take to this next game, because that's a triple kill on the Olaf. That's 2 Baron pushing waves in, and it is looking grimmer and grimmer by the minute for ET Solar as Dynasty Ruby is just taking all this standing gold and cracking open the base.
Yeah, Ruby really just took the early game advantage they had of like a few thousand gold, of like 1,000 gold, and just really pushed it to the limit that they could, just taking win trades everywhere. Like, yeah, they lost the first turret, they lost the tower mid, but it doesn't matter. Like, you got a 9-0 Silas, a 4-0 Viego, a 5-0 Olaf, and I don't see where the damage comes to burst these guys down before they can sustain the fight.
Ash is on an item and a half. She is 2 items away from dealing damage at this point.
Ash is kind of a bot this game.
Ash is not in a good spot. As we see Silas finish the book and finish the other books.
He's got 3 books in that inventory.
He's studying up this game.
He's got to Harvard this game.
He's got the 2 books, and he's got the other small one in his pocket.
He's got stack stonks, and he's got books for knowledge.
He's got the evil book, he's got the stacking book, and he's got the Gideon Bible all in his inventory at this point, just ready to go. As we see, the stun is going to come down onto Outrage. He's going to be able to get the flash over the wall, but Play on Wards follows it as well. Ash Arrow's going to hit on the other side, but the Magnet Storm's going to come through. CZ is on the backside and is just going to laugh. They're going to dance it off a little bit, and CZ's probably going to finish the kill. Never mind, Lexington's going to do it. As we see Outrage is shipping into the mid lane, he's going to be able to get a double kill at this point, and he is 1v4 right now. He cannot be stopped, can't be killed, can't be moved, can't be touched, can't be stopped as he flashes forward. And Nation is going to flash out as well. Horn's going to land the knockup, but this is going to be Nexus Terror's getting threatened. That's going to be game 1 over to Dynasty Ruby. That's game over. Just like that, it's finished. We were making jokes about books and they turned to the last page and actually managed to finish it off by blowing up the Nexus for game 1.
If Van got that kill on Nation, he would have had a 20 stack Magi's at the end of that game, but only got to 18. Couldn't prove that the book is always worth it when you're fed, but yeah, that was just.
I mean, theoretically speaking, you only need like 14 stacks on it for it to actually be gold efficient. So I think he did a pretty good job of getting gold efficiency out of it, and especially as fast as he was blowing people up at the end.
Yeah, that was just an early game that was not able to be held by Solar. Ruby really pushing it to the limit and just crushing them in 25-minute fashion. I don't really think there's anything to cover in this one besides a redraft for the whole side of Solar for this next game.
Let's see what side they are going to take for this next game, and we will figure that out after a quick break as we go into game 2 of ET Solar versus Dynasty Ruby. And welcome back for game 2 of Dynasty Ruby versus ET Solar. As we see, the sides look like they haven't flipped.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think ET kind of does need some form of counter pick that isn't Aatrox Swain this game to really have a chance. But honestly, I don't think Ruby needs to change up anything from that game plan, draft or bans. I think they can just run it back and we could just see a repeat.
We are seeing a little bit of a salty run back come through at this point. Same two first bans on the blue side from Ruby. Same two bans on the red side from Solar. I mean, if this is I'm trying to call back, what was it, Poppy? Which
Yeah, it was Poppy.
I can't imagine they wouldn't change off of Poppy at this point.
Alistair.
Alistar. Okay, so first pick Rel.
Yeah, unless it gets
Is
banned.
Trucks
right here.
back?
I do not believe so because I still see Penelope's father in.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah,
we were kind of talking about it in the break of like, I feel like Alistar would have just been a better pick into the Rel, but
I don't know if it
They
fixes
know something
all the
too.
problems, but
so either Ivern or the Rel ban is going to come through at this point, I would imagine.
Ozix.
So
Rel first pick, and we're gonna see Swain on the side of ET Solar.
Rel first pick.
I think you know where this
If there's a
fella's going.
different-
I don't think there's a counter. I don't
I
think
just-
there's a flex pick. I think you pick Thresh or you pick like Janna here.
Yeah, it has to be one of those. I mean,
Fuck it, pick Bard, pick Milio, pick
Bard.
Blitzcrank, pick like I'm about to say Blitzcrank, but I said Bard because he was the first champ I saw. But
is Blitz really that good into Rel though?
Rel goes to WE, just Q.
Okay,
Just
Zyra
straight-
Khan? Is that going to
Maybe.
be the answer from ET Solar here?
I think Rakan is skill based into Rel, unlike the other champs that I named that you can just stop it instantly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with the Alistar being taken off the table, okay, Poppy. Wait, the Poppy's still up.
Poppy into Rel is good.
Poppy into Rel is good. I just don't think that's going to be where the Poppy's going. I mean,
What do you think? How likely do you think this might be outrage going like lethality Poppy mid lane?
if that happens, I will be impressed.
Rek'Sai pick.
I will
Okay.
call the admins and say that is probably along the lines of griefing.
I remember him
And-
saying the other day, lethality Poppy is so good. So
Yeah, if we see Duskblade Poppy this game, I will I don't know what I'll do, but
I think Ruby already won this draft though.
I think
kind of.
well, I mean, we see Rek'Sai coming out on the other side, and we see the Kaisa pickup as well for, I would assume, Luxodon.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna play another form of a dive comp here, and Solar has some answers. Like Xayah can self peel herself with the ultimate and then pulling back the feathers. Poppy W is a good counter into. So the
Poppy
big
W
thing
is
about-
good into every one of the
so
champions,
the big,
isn't it?
yeah, the big thing about Kaisa is her ultimate isn't unstoppable, and it's
Yep.
not a teleport. It's
Oh,
a
hey, we
dash.
actually see the Jaina.
We see the Janna counter, which is good into Rek'Sai and Rel, but if you're able to pilot Rel and Rek'Sai, you can still win the matchup into Janna.
Yeah.
So, like, the big thing to do as a Rel into Janna is don't lead with your W. You lead with your Q.
Yep.
Because if you hit the Q first, you are guaranteed to get the crash down after,
Mhm.
and then that's how you can set up the kill on Janna. But if you lead with your W, you're going to get Q'd, you're going to get Tornado knocked up by the Janna, and then when you panzer around your legs and you can't walk, you're going to get tripped up by the Janna Zephyr because she's going to make you trip over your own legs and make you walk even slower than you already were before. You ever have to do the walk of shame when you forgot TP and your pants are around your ankles? Now imagine that even slower.
That's not the walk of shame that I was thinking of, but okay. Nico and Renekton band's gonna come out. Same bands in the second phase so far. If we see a Mordekaiser here, then I have a really strong feeling that unless this is Poppy top,
Look, I'm just saying, when you got a long bathroom, that's what the walk of shame really is. But yeah. I definitely think the champ is gonna be banned very soon.
I hope a champion is banned
Okay,
soon.
Xerath
coming
is
through
banned.
as a ban because
Okay, cool.
it's
So
a reboot, man.
let's get back into some League of Legends here.
League of Legends, please.
So on the side of ET Solar, what would you like to see picked up into what's been drafted so far and what's being banned away? Do you want to see the Ornn again blind, or are you just worried that you're gonna just get counterpicked again with like?
Oh,
the
Mordekaiser coming
Zola?
through. So maybe they're thinking, I don't know. Is this? I'm curious where this Poppy is going. Is the first thing in all of this.
I mean, we're
Okay, Syndra. So they
being covered.
they are looking towards Syndra, which is good into Rek'Sai Rel.
I think this Syndra pick
se.
is actually really good. It just secures your disengage even more, and
Mhm.
and you can pop Kaisa on the back line if you overextend by herself.
Yep.
So
I think
this
it's
Syndra pick's
the right
actually,
pick.
I think it's actually a really good pick here. I'm just
Mhm.
curious to see what Van Quotas chooses to counter pick with here. I would like
Zer's out. I feel
you
like
could do Cassio. That
Azir
used to be the do you remember?
Cassio good into. I didn't think
Yeah,
Cassio was good into Syndra.
old pro. Oh
Oh,
wait,
what?
you see a mispick.
Oriana. Oriana is the
Okay,
hover.
Oriana. What? Wait,
Uh,
Ori. Ori was the pick.
Ori was the pick. Okay.
Okay, so I forget how the three old champs used to work into each other, but it was like the Syndra, Cassio, Oriana meta. It was like rock paper scissors, 1v1, 1v1, 1v1. You know, so I forget if it was the Cassio that beat the Syndra or if it was the Ori, and we're gonna see the Gnar picked here. I really like this draft.
Okay.
I really like this draft for Ruby. This is such a good team fight dive comp.
Is
Like,
this Poppy jungle? Because like I feel like Gnar into Poppy is just like
no, you can 100% send the Poppy top here. Mini Gnar really like
that's why
Mini
I'm
Gnar.
thinking like if they R5, this has to be, if this is R5 jungle, this has to be the most like.
Okay,
Oh, okay, so it's Poppy jungle.
I don't like this R5.
I don't like it either, but if you're talking about just pressing R
I
onto
think I would have liked to
frontline,
see like a set instead, or like an actual counter into Gnar.
there's a couple of them at this point you could have played, but
You could have picked Jax here. Jax really does beat Gnar. You could have gone like Kled, but like I don't know the top laner pool for the side of Solar. I don't know Ghost's champ pool, so they might just feel way more comfortable on something like the Malphite compared to like a carry champion, which would make more sense for the pick. But I think if you're gonna pick Malphite, I don't think you R5 it. I think you could have picked it blind, let the
you can pick it on
Narso go through.
4, I think.
And then you still would have gotten the Syndra. And if Ori's the Syndra counter, like, I don't know. You kind of countered yourself with the Malphite.
Congratulations, you played yourself, as DJ Khaled once said.
Yeah, basically.
And
he also said another one, and that's what we are getting. We're getting another game.
So we're gonna toss into a break. I was wondering if that's where you're going with that. So we're gonna toss into a break. We're gonna go into the spectate delay, and on the other side, we'll have game 2 of Dynasty Ruby versus ET Solar for Aegis Guardian League.
Those cravens backstab me, deceive me. Never shall I tolerate their crimes again. Now let the hunt begin. Yeah. 7,000 souls scared and daunted. Such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning,
And welcome back to game 2 between Dynasty Ruby and ET Solar. Chung and Coach Bolton, Trash Panda, quit badgering me, whatever you want to call me at this point. Bringing you the game live. Chung,
30 seconds until
Yes,
I
Chef.
am I looked at something.
What'd you look at, Chef? Hey, you said I could
I've
call you
noticed
whatever I want.
something that is very perplexing to me. But I'm gonna see if you can
Oh,
figure
it's
it
the
out.
Relic Shield Janna.
That's one of them. There's a rune and item combination that kind of confuses me right now.
I see. You talking about Malphite top
Minions
with
have
Grasp
spawned.
and the Doran's Ring?
Yes, I am talking about Malphite top with the grasp and the Doran's ring.
Okay, so I this is one top lane I can talk about, and his name is Malphite because that's what I revert to when I play top lane.
Rock.
This is fine.
Okay.
Because
I just feel like Comet is just so much better.
so there's two runes you take on Malphite. One's Comet and one's Grasp. You take Comet in the range matchups, and you take Grasp in the melee matchups. Nars both. So you could run the Comet if you want to try to poke him out in the lane, right?
Mhm.
And then you run the Grasp for sustaining against him, which is what Ghost is going to look to do here. The Doran's Ring is fine. It's going to help you regen mana, which you're going to need to kind of try to contest Gnar in the early lane for just health trading. He's going to throw out Qs with no mana. You're going to throw out Qs, use cost mana. So the base regen on that is helpful, and you get extra sustain with 2 pots. You can debate that Doran's Shield gives you regen back better than the double pot, but
That's fair.
it really comes down to preference in the matchup. I would have gone Comet in this matchup, but Grasp is totally acceptable in my book.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think D-Ring is fine. It's just I'm surprised that he went with grasp instead of the Comet.
He's going for like you could still kill people 100 to 0 at level 6 if you know the matchup. Like I've gotten countless solo kills on Malphite because people just don't know how busted his early damage is. But I think the other thing you could have done as Malphite here is gone for. Oh, we're seeing
Bot
it early
lane,
gang.
Gremlin's here. Knockup is going to start landing on Penelope's father, but the tornado is going to save him for just a second. But the Ignite's going to be enough to tick down as First Blood goes over to play on wards and Dynasty Ruby. Great setup on the gank there.
Yeah, that was really cleanly played. You know, only using 2 summoners, you still get the flash out of Janna, so Janna is still super vulnerable in this lane, and that was just a good gank timer by Gremlin, just doing its full bot slide clear, and just immediately. And we're gonna see vertical jungling, which is really bad for the spot lane here on the side of ET Solar. They are
Dark
gonna
is in
just
a bad
get
spot.
yeah, they're
Dark
they're
even
gonna
blew
just,
Ghost there too.
yeah, they're gonna get zoned very hard here with this vertical jungling. They're gonna need to find out how the
Oh,
they
Heal
heal.
comes up from Luxton on to play on
Dark-
wards. Is
You know what?
Dark
Dark
trading
traded
back,
really
and this is
back
actually
there.
working out really well for them.
Yeah, good on Dark to salvage the lane, really, at that point, because he was just going to get zoned off of so much golden XP, just fighting back in the wards with double ward in the bushes to not let him have a bastion of safety to escape from the auto attacks that were ramping up, and we're going to see the gank up to CC here. I want to see the W.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. So,
Tried to get the steadfast presence down, but ended up doing the flash heroic charge, I believe is the name of the
yeah, it's
poppy.
heroic charge.
Heroic charge to try and get it into the wall with the W on the follow-up, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. You see some trading back and forth. Bot lane was able to get the lane shoved out and not have it frozen on them, as Malphite is just taking a little bit of damage over here. But
So the big thing in that top lane play is Nasian tried to get the the flash heroic charge, and then followed up with the steadfast presence, but crucially angled it the wrong way to not slam into the fat part of the wall, and went for the skinny part of the wall, which made CZ not get stunned to be able to immediately flash, and CZ also not burning flash early and not wasting the hop, which is also huge because that would have just been interrupted and most likely probably would have died there or gotten way closer than he did that time.
just walking it out with the I believe that was the East Side Boys that made the Now Walk It Out song.
Yeah. Wait. Hoppy's not running Hex Flash.
Really?
What does he have instead then?
As we
Nimbus
see
Pro?
Outrage King from the mid lane. The knockup's just gonna land. That's as easy as a kill as you can get. That's as easy of a kill as you could possibly get on the Rek'Sai, as we see
Also,
Kremlin invading nation.
Outrage just not playing to the correct side of the map. He's playing bot side when his jungle is at red buff. He should have been on the other side of the wave. Also, it was a good job by Codis Reboot Van to force him onto that side of the lane, playing towards the top half of the map instead of towards the bottom half, and only crossing over once Outrage walked forward way too far, crossing over to the right side, getting the QW for the slow, for the easy follow-up by Gremlin there. Very, very minute plays in the wave, but that's how mid lane works. You need to play the correct side of the wave, and Reboot Van really outplaying Outrage on that one, forcing him to the side of the map you wanted him on.
Two types of mid laners. There's the ones that try and force so that they're on the side of their jungler, and then there's the ones that try and force it so that their opponent's playing to the opposite side and towards the other team's jungler. Like, you know what I mean when I'm trying to say.
It was really good by Van because he definitely knew that Nation was still up on the top side from the early gank and just jungle timers, because Gremlin did counter jungle all the bot camps, so they knew their respawn timers. It's just very small stuff like this that I think just really makes Ruby a cut above a lot of the other teams, and it like
Why that grass proc?
Dude, I told you. Look at that trade.
I know.
So now here's the big thing: if Malphite gets one more trade like that, he can full kill CZ with an ultimate and then a combo on top of it. This is how Malphite. I would have liked the Sheen over the Chain Vest, because then that's definitely how you get the solo kill in this lane. But
move in and Outrage trading in the mid lane. Shockwave comes through, but no follow up from the Syndra. Already had thrown the stun out and thrown most of the abilities, just kind of trading back and forth a little bit. But now this puts Outrage in a pretty decent spot. Never mind. That QW is a pretty good combo and gets chunked out very heavily. But here we see Malphite actually roaming down into the mid lane. Tigger Ghost is looking for it. This one's going to come through, and the flash ulti is going to come through the Malphite, and the Unleashed Power is going to come in as well. The outplay button gets the kill, but on the bottom side, speaking of outplay buttons, Super Gremlin is going to be able to pick up the first kill, but he's in a tricky situation when he flashes forward, picks up the kill into the Syndra, and it's just going to walk out, tunnel out, double kill over to Super Gremlin, making the most of a bad situation. Easy didn't even rotate down, so he's able to pick up this top wave and kind of keep it in an advantageous spot, while Malphite blows not only the ult, but the flash there as well.
yeah, just really good plays there by both sides. You know, getting the kill onto Reboot, but very good punish by Super Gremlin to pick up that kill, and especially to get out of the situation, all things considered, was in a very precarious spot, but able to play the champ, do the most of their abilities, and get away from that one.
See bot lane starting to hit 6. There's no tornado for the Janna. Play on Wards knows that. Walks up, just lands the decimating smash. Decimating strike. Oh, here we see the jump in. Crashdown is going to come through as well. Play on Wards gets the Magnet Storm as well. Dark is going to be the target, but the exhaust is going to go down on the Lux.
That exhaust is huge.
Another storm is going to come through, but that's going to be another knockback with the crash down. And
Wait, but Dark flash there, and Lux didn't. That's kind of actually
big.
insane. And Ward still has flash.
Ward
still has flash too. He can look for a flash Q. I don't know if
Sun's gonna land. Shockwave is gonna come through onto Outrage. Outrage's flash is not quite back up at this point, and that's gonna be a solo kill for Reboot Van.
Powered auto, man. That stuff's insane. This is why we used to see PoE build. What was it? Nash's Tooth. Yeah, the old school Nash's Tooth Orianna build.
I just don't realize how much ramping damage Orianna has on auto attacks as she gets like the third auto attack off. She outtrades pretty much everybody in the game in like auto attacks like that, unless you're like a 3-hit passive champion.
So I'm not sure if Rel is still bugged. I know for a while she was, where if you would go to flash Q for some reason, your Q wouldn't respond to your Courser and just shoot off at the wrong direction. Yes. So if it's still bugged, I can see Wards not wanting to go for a play like that, even though they have the flash advantage and the ultimate unlocks it in. Just because it's so risky, because if it doesn't work out, you're just wasting a summoner for nothing.
There's also flash, the flash ulti from Janna as well to push back with the Monsoon into the turret potentially. If Play on Wards gets trapped there, then that's kind of a kill over. We'll see.
They're not going to force the Drake here, which I'm not upset with. It's Chemtech. You know, some people like to call it something else. Definitely not the best Drake in the game. Not the best Drake, not the best soul. It's just definitely forgettable. So I think if you're gonna just give up a Drake like that, I think you do need to play for something on the top side. And they gave up the first Herald super freely to the side of Ruby. And I think they're just also going to be able to set up for this Drake a lot more easily just because their mid laner is just kind of win trading into Outrage here. And Outrage on a solo mission gets away.
Malphite is down here first, but Super Gremlin's going to go over the wall, land the combo onto Outrage. The Sombrero comes through for Reboot Van, and that's going to be the shutdown onto the Rek'Sai going over to the Syndra. But at the same time, Play on Wards trying to get out, uses the Magnet Storm, uses the Crash Down, but it's denied by the Poppy, and that's going to be a kill going over to Poppy as well, 2-for-1 so far for ET Solar in the mid lane, and they are going to be able to take the Dragon. But at the same time, CZ is TP'd down to the bottom lane. He's halfway to Rage Bar. I don't think that they can fight this, especially considering that only Kaisa and Nara has ultis, and Nara doesn't even have access to his at this point because he's still mini. So that's going to be first Dragon picked up over to ET Solar.
Yeah, he had no good TP angle. He had the TP behind the play completely, which is kind of just a waste at that point. Once you TP would be so far away like that, and you already know your jungle is dead, I think he should just stay top, force another plate there for himself, because he is down in CS. Like, Malphite actually does insanely well at clearing out CS early. It's when they start getting a little beefier, it gets a little bit questionable. But he's going to go with, I'm 100% sure it's Crossfire, and then he's probably just going to build Gunfire Cape, and waves aren't going to be that much of an issue. But, yeah, no, Psycho really playing this Malphite well in this matchup. Already have a lot of pressure on this map compared to last game on the Ornn.
Already see Mythics come through. Both Mythics on the mid laner, both Kraken Slayers onto the 80 carries. We see the Stride Breaker already onto Super Gremlin. It's stun going to be landing in the top lane, a little bit of a trade back and forth, but the Seismic Shard just gets the Malphite out of there very handily.
And, like, the big thing is Malphite still has TP here, so he might lose XP if he chooses not to. He might get frozen on if he chooses not to TP. But I think Malphite is in a really good spot where he doesn't even need to TP back to this lane because he can break a
Herald was dropped by Super Gremlin.
I think it was
pushing towards the top side, but Poppy's already up there to respond.
I think it was timing out and he just had to drop it.
Yeah.
Because the Dragon play was
Poppy ulti going to be back up in time for it? I don't think so, as they're going to start to aggress over towards Nation. He's going to use the Rift Herald to charge away. Forgot about that interaction.
Turret plating will fall.
Plates are starting to fall. So a little bit of an influx of gold over to Dynasty Ruby. Not as large of a lead as about as large of a lead it was, I guess I should say, in this game as it was this time last game. But not too many plates fell this game, really, across the board.
So we are seeing the AD Kaisa this game and not the AP sniper build. How do you feel about AD Kaisa compared to AP Kaisa right now? With the nurse that came
I liked AD Kaisa. It just felt better to play AD Kaisa than Sniper Kaisa for a while there, as we see a lot of play starting to develop. Oh, Gremlin able to get out before Nation is able to land the wall slam. Save his flash. Potentially save a kill going over to the mid laner of ET Solar.
Oh, wait, this could be huge. If you look at the minimap, Malphite is bottom lane, and he still has DP. They could look for something if Lux steps too far up. They have no vision in these bushes, and Lux is going to have no idea.
See how fast his fingers are, I guess I should say. Play on Wards is still chilling around mid lane. Stun's gonna come through. Oh, that's gonna be the ulti coming down. They're overcommitting to this though. They are able to pick up the kill. The Feather Storm came out from Not So Dark, which I thought wasn't the right play, but they're gonna be able to pick up a bunch of chip damage on the turret, probably potentially take it, while the Rift Herald is taken on the top side.
And what does Malphite lose for this play? The answer is nothing, because he had TP the whole time and is able to catch the wave top lane. This is plays we like seeing out of top laners. Selfless.
Oh, Play on Wards ganking mid lane. Turret's gonna go down on the bottom side. Outrage going to be able to clear out the wave. Has to be careful walking up, though, because the shockwave is up. Stun's going to come through. Unleash power onto Reboot Van. Reboot Van's less than 200 HP. Here comes Not So Dark. The flash forward is going to come in, but it's not going to be enough as the crash down actually stuns Not So Dark after coming into the mid lane. And they're going to look to push the second turret down here in mid. Gremlin's looking over the wall. Play on wards. Magnet Storm looking to come through potentially. Double stun from Syndra. Scatter the weak. But really the only weak point at this part is the Orianna's health bar. Bunch of ultis still up nation. Kind of invading towards the camp. But everyone's going to take a reset. No bloodshed.
Yeah, really good play there by Van to just like know the range he can play at to help clear out those minions so they don't lose the tower there and he doesn't lose his life or the shutdown that he has right now either. I think if Syndra had a little bit more damage at that point, I think Van just does get popped in that play in the 2v1. It's really hard for Rel to kind of do anything into Syndra. It's kind of the same thing into Poppy and Janna. Like, they just have so many ways to interrupt her. It becomes very difficult. And then with the reduced movement speed you have, it's just really, really hard to get away from anything else after that. So he's lucky he
We're
didn't get pushed there.
We're getting to the point that Solar has a lot of lockdown to start a fight and then follow up lockdown afterwards. So we see the second Rift Herald not being used in a very advantageous situation as it's timing out, but at the same time, Dragon is up.
Go straight mid and charge, but
Poppy can't use ulti on it, but I don't think the turret's gonna die either. So
yeah, I don't think it dies. It's the big thing.
they're gonna be able to defend it. They're gonna get it taken down. I mean, mid turret's at like 1500 health left, and Solar has posture on the dragon as well.
It looks like Ruby might just sack this and just hard force mid lane here. They're all kind of walking away from the play, and it looks like they're getting nothing for this.
CZ and Super Gremlin are going top, and Reboot Van is posturing in the bot lane to farm. I mean, if he's not careful, they can pick off the Orianna in the bot lane, but they're looking towards mid.
He's not showing.
On the side there, Sicko Ghost looking to posture towards the red buff area. Nothing's going to happen mid lane. They're looking for Orianna, though. I think they're going for Orianna. The ping's already coming out at this point. Here comes Sicko Ghost. Already knows the stun's going to come through. That's the TP already down at this point. Reboot Van is just going to go down to Outrage before it even starts. Feather Storm's going to come through. Pick up. Not So Dark as well after this Magnum Storm's going to pick it up. Super Gremlin's going to flash in, pick up the kill. Yeah. TP actually coming from Outrage to save the mid lane turret. It's kind of two fights going on at once. 80 carry for mid lane going down. CZ getting pushed in the top lane. And Outrage looking to stop recalls. But Luxodon hasn't reset at this point.
Not going to get anything out of it, yeah.
Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, good pick
kind
on
of a
the Van
stalemate going on at this point until the next objectives come up.
Yeah, really good pick on the Van in the side lane. Just like not letting him go wherever he wants to in this map. And then I guess the TP is necessary to keep your mid tier 1 alive. So it's fine to do it at Outrage, and it should be up in time for the next Drake if he wants to walk to a side lane. But this this Syndra is starting to get a little scary. You know, 155 farm, 3 and 4 has the shutdown.
Full items finished at this point. Malphite does have TP up if he wants to go bot lane to match, but I don't think you want to put Orianna, or I don't think you want to put Malphite in the Orianna lane. So
Syndra very close to also getting that passive upgrade for the big ultimate damage.
Stack check. Ooh.
87. Yep. Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close.
Probably here in the next 5 minutes. Probably not for the Baron, but maybe for the Cloud Drake that's going to be up, that the Execute's going to be able to come through.
I mean, if the side of Solar can stall out long enough, like, it'll be up for Baron. They have a lot of ways to avoid, to deter interaction and approve of inaction.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of how much abilities they have to stop engages. So it makes it a lot easier for Syndra to farm up and be able to fully stack that passive to the point they want.
This are going to kind of force on the Nation a little bit, but the Steadfast presence is going to get him out. Malphite going to eat a knockup, but I don't think that's the target you want to be focusing down at this point.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I think
he's coming out from the mid lane. Never mind. Ruby's not going to force it because they're going to get back in time.
think Solar might have also been able to force something there onto somebody with the Malphite walking down in that position, but I do like to call not to. They didn't know where Oriana exactly was at that point, walking up from the bot lane. So it could have been that Oriana was already there, and it could have cost them a lot more than they were expecting. So I like the point because they're only at 1K down, which is way better than they were at this point last time in the game. Because last game ended in 25 minutes.
At this point, it was the Baron was about to be taken.
Baron was started.
Baron was being threatened, but Outrage actually gonna get the cancel onto play on wards after the. Oh my! If there would have been the extra range, then I think that gives Vision. So would have been able to.
It was close. It would have been close. I'm just
pings coming out towards pings from Ruby towards the bottom side. Nothing really gonna come out from it.
Yeah, Ruby really having a rough time doing anything on the map, like forcing a play somewhere, getting a crack.
Outrage. Speaking of forcing a play, Outrage is walking into the Raptor pit, trying to clear it, and Outrage is just dead.
Yeah, when you stand on the Rek'Sai tunnel, you're on vision, and really good punish there on the side of Ruby to force to just get that small 150 gold bounty that Outrage had, I think, at that point. But that might be able to help them crack open mid lane.
Admins might need to want to look into that one.
Outrage looks like he's playing like me on that play, you know, away from his team by himself.
Gremlin trading on to the Malphite. Nothing's gonna really happen from that at this point. Dragon spawns 20 seconds. Easy in the top lane with
Outrage
TP.
Is up with TP. He's gonna go top, respond to CZ, not hit him TP, and we're gonna have a 4v4 around the dragon area, which I think does kind of favor Solar at this point, just because of that Malphite ultimate. So I'm really curious to see what happens around this. I'm curious to see if a TP gets off on CZ. CZ very close to going mega. He might want to.
Yeah, he already has the bar, so he's
got a TP into this.
Into it. Outrage doing a good job of just forcing into it, but at the same time, Outrage needs to be it needs to be cautious just in case. But the Narbar is going to wear off. CZ is going to have to TP in mini and exhausted into this, and here comes the Outrage. That's a TP from Outrage into the middle of the team. Flashes over the wall already. That's an Malphite ulti coming in. Unstoppable force coming through under the front line for Gremlin. But Luxodon is going to be able to jump onto Outrage. Outrage is going to die instantaneously into the fight. And that is a huge shockwave coming through onto the backside with Super Gremlin in the middle of the team. Not So Dark is going to be taken down. That's a double kill over to CZ at this point. Nation forcing on to Luxodon. Luxodon going to be taken down in this skirmish. There's two fights going on. Nation's running for the hills. Meanwhile, Sickle Ghost is just playing with play on wards. No one's gonna really die at this point. That is going to be 2 kills over to the side of Dynasty Ruby for 1. And that is gonna be the first dragon of the game picked up for Ruby.
Yeah, that shockwave won them that team fight, getting onto 3 key members of Solar. If that misses, if Van doesn't get that ultimate there, that's a different team fight. I think Gremlin falls in that team fight, and Luxodon dies a lot sooner than that. But the Sombrero really saving his team, really coming up clutch in a key moment for his team to get the towers cracking, get a bigger gold lead, and start taking better control of this game than they had earlier at this point.
Low amount of turrets taken at this point, as we've only seen 4 drop, and 2 of them just came in the last, like, 30 seconds. So, slow-tempoed game at this point. Both teams playing calculated, controlled. But we're starting to see that Ruby is starting to make that gap a little bit. It's just coming a little bit later in this game than it was in the last one.
Yeah, and it's on the back of Gremlin on this Rek'Sai, really. Like, he was a little bit overextended in that team fight, and Van did save that play, but Gremlin really knowing how to push the pressure on Rek'Sai and pushing the limits and being able to get out for plays and having his teammates be able to back him up on those and bail him out of those sticky situations.
Baron is alive at this point. I mean, at this point, the last game, the game was over. So,
no, not yet.
Better change of pace. Well, it's pushing towards the end.
Okay, hold on.
Solar pushing in.
And the game's done at this point last time. Anyway.
They're looking to fight. Oh, Magnet Storm coming in, but the ultimate coming through. The unstoppable force actually killed Reboot Van off the start. Magnet Storm hits onto 4, but it's just going to be a sacrificial lamb play from Play on Wards to try and get the rest of the team out. That's 2 kills to ET Solar, and that's going to be Baron.
Huge pick for ET Solar on that one. Comboing up the long range of Syndra, the Poppy Wall stun, and the ultimate on an outplay onto the other side of the fight. And the big thing is, Solar burned 1 ultimate for those 2 kills. They only burn Malphite ultimate, which is a super low cooldown at this point in the game. He's got 2 ranks into it. I think even at max rank, like right now, it's a 76-second cooldown. That's nothing really. It'll be up for the next dragon fight too. The really good play there for ET Solar, really getting themselves back in this game. They're still 1k down, but they do have the Baron buff, so I'm really curious to see how they use this and where they do, because they need to start cracking these outer turrets and then these tier 2s, because that's where all the gold is on the map, is tier 2 turrets, not these tier 1s.
The shining light for Dynasty Ruby is that it might be hard for ET Solar to siege for the early parts of this Baron buff. Now, we're going to get people back on the map.
I think because of where the waves were, yes, but I think Syndra helps deter that just because of how far range she can poke people away from and her threat range is. It really makes you have to step away from a turret. So, you know, Syndra kind of really chewing up a hole in the low range part of ET's draft.
We're starting to see the third items coming through. We are going to see Steric's Gauge as Outrage is getting jumped on the bottom lane. Scatter the Weak is going to land on the Super Gremlin. The knockup is going to come through. Shockwave comes in as well from Reboot Van, but oh my gosh, the Unleashed Power almost finishes off Reboot Van. But on the top side, the cross map's coming through. Top tier 1's dropping. Four members of ET Solar pushing in as Reboot Van is resetting. Super Gremlin is getting the push on the bottom side, and the mid turret is being threatened as well, but there's going to be a TP coming in. Lux and Play on Wards need to run. Malphite LT is still up. Let's see if Psycho Ghost is going to be able to land this. The ulti is going to come through. It's going to land onto the Kaisa, but not the follow-up that they're wishing for at this point. The slow is going to come in. The Feather Storm's going to come in as well. The flashes are going to come through. The Crashdown's going to try and get him out, but Luxon is going to surviving at this point, but he's going to be taken down. Audacious Charge is coming in. The stun from the Rel is going to miss as well. Play on Wards is in a bad spot. The Steadfast Presence actually blocked the Crashdown. Magnet Storm is going to be forced to come through, but that's just going to be 2 kills over to ET Solar.
Killing spree.
Yeah, once again, like, Psycho really showing off on this Malphite pick, this R5 Malphite pick. I was kind of trashing.
You're trashing it.
I was trashing it. I think R5 Malphite is kind of bait, but really showing up on this pick and showing out, kind of being the glue to get Solar in this game and trying to pull them across the finish line with these plays that they're making. You know, kudos to them, and I see something interesting in the build path on the horizon here for this Malphite.
Oh, I saw that too.
You see it?
I see the Amp Tome.
I'm curious.
Where are we going?
I'm curious.
What are we doing
here? We're cooking something here with this Amp Tome.
We're getting in the kitchen. We're getting the recipes out. We're gonna see what's going on with this.
I feel like this is like gonna build
coming up.
Demonic Embrace. But do you know what I would love to see?
Psycho Ghost kind of getting a little bit jumped on at this point. Actually flashes out knowing how valuable Unstoppable Force is.
You know what item I would love to see Ghost build here? I would love to see him build a Shadow Flame.
Oh, Shadow Flame would be good. Play on Wards gets chunked by the Scatter the Weak combo.
Oh man.
Psycho Ghost is just forcing onto this dragon. This is a rough spot for Ruby to be in.
Yeah, Ruby can't walk in. Like, even though there's no vision of them.
Cloud Dragon's already down. The Shirelli is to actually get them out. Malphite ults into the front line. The Unstoppable Force comes in. Poppy Ulti is going to come through as well. Play on Wards is already dead. Super Gremlin's already down. This is going to be a run for the hills fight from Ruby. Nation is going to start running them down. So, the wall charge doesn't actually land, but CZ's going to get the ulti off.
Big
ulti. Save them. As Psycho Ghost is resetting. And that is going to be the end of the fight.
I think if that wall stun hits on Luxidid, that's even more than, like, even more taken on this map. Like, Solar really playing out these fights well, really testing Ruby, and, like, looking in a spot to, I think, hand Ruby their first game loss of this split so far.
Seeing the push come through. Oh, pause. Oh, okay.
All right. So,
all right.
Yeah.
tier two mid is gonna fall. Then ET Solar is gonna get the resets in. They're minute 20 to Baron. Are they gonna go directly towards it? Are they gonna kind of correct the side waves, get them going for them? We do see Malphite TP is gonna be back up at this point. What do you think the next play is? Are they just gonna try and force Baron? Are they gonna try and kind of split it out a little bit? What do you think is gonna happen?
So I think the big thing is looking at these two drafts is no one on either team can really side lane, like at all.
Yeah.
You have two control mages, you have a tank top, and Gnar is not the split push threat that you ever think he will be. He just doesn't do that. He's much more suited to team fighting and like kind of answering a side laner. So these teams are just going to keep meeting like this. They're just going to keep rooting down, going for 5v5s, because that's how both of these teams win. It's not by side laning. It's not by having crazy side laners who can 1-3-1. It's just straight up 5v5 team fights. So we're going to see them fight over this Baron. It's just the question is, where are the waves at this time? Who has control of mid? Because I think if Solar has control of mid, it is so hard for Ruby to walk in, and vice versa. You know, crash down with a Orianna on top with Gnar into a wall. That it's just it's whoever's at the area first is just, I think, in the better spot for the team fight. And we see the Abyssal Mask for Malphite.
Oh, interesting.
Still holding that amp tone.
Okay.
I'm still curious where this is gonna go. It's definitely an interesting one with where this build is gonna go, and I would just love to see Big AP. Well, hold on,
We're gonna kind of quiet down a little bit here for a second, see where the crash shot's gonna come in. That's gonna deny. Oh, the chain CC on to play on wards, but the front line ulti, the Luxodon is gonna get taken down. Oh, the ulti early on, but the shockwave's gonna come through and actually take down Not So Dark at the beginning of the fight. Play on wards is getting into the backside. Magnet Storm's gonna come in, but he is gonna be taken down as well. Secret Ghost is gonna be taken down, but the Flash Monsoon is not gonna be able to save him. Super Gremlin looking in, denied by the steadfast presence, but at this point, what's happening? Oh, Nation with the double kill! The triple! Okay. Outrage going in. It's Reboot Band versus the world. Exhausted at this point. Stun's going to come through. Outrage picks up another kill. That is a clean ace for ET Solar, and they might look... Well, actually, never mind. CZ is split pushing.
He's split
Who am I
push.
kidding? He didn't even come into the fight at this point.
I lied. Gnar is a split push god. It's
Gnar
gonna
is a
be a
split push
base
champion.
race. He's gonna back off, but
Wait, it's just too late.
I think
They're gonna go. They're gonna look for it.
it's game.
He's gonna be mini.
I think it's just
Outrage
game.
just needs to land a stun. Play on wards is alive
Wards
as
is
well.
here,
They're gonna
Wards
just
is here.
get the stun
It's
through.
denied.
Then press presence. Kind of slowing down Outrage at this point. They're gonna look to chase him down a little bit, but the tornado is gonna come through and that is gonna deny it. But oh my goodness, that was kind of scary.
If Zai was alive,
CZ didn't even TP into the fight.
No, CZ said F his team, man. Wow.
At his KDA.
Yeah, he's literally saying "F you
He's a
guys."
KDA player at this point. He's like, I'm good. I got the Trinity. I got the Cleaver. I'm just gonna split. You guys got this, right? Clearly, right? Hello, team. This is the triple kill came through for Nation, but they are pressuring onto Baron at this point. ET Solar has no idea about this. Blast Cone's denied. Maybe they're gonna see that once they come through.
Malphite has
provision. Malphite has TP. Okay, the ward's there. That's perfect.
He's
It's
TPing
gonna
in.
come
He's
through.
TPing
Is it
in.
gonna be late? It's gonna be late. Baron Nash is
No,
already
they're gonna
taken
go for the
down.
fight. They're gonna go
Oh,
for
that's
the
gonna
fight.
save the. It's gonna save the realm.
Go
But
for it.
the ulti goes onto the Orianna. Reboot Van's gonna get a huge shockwave as two people are already taken down at this point. And that's the mid jungle down for ET Solar. Let's see what other push in they can get. I mean, Cloud Soul's coming up at this point too, with Super Gremlin down and Reboot Van also in the grave with him. Are they just gonna look to push into the Baron minions? I mean, they could.
look at the cooldown on Malphite ultimate here. Like it's already almost up again.
It's
and
already
there's no
halfway
Finn
up. Like,
ultimate.
I mean, he is level 17 at this point, so he's got the level 3. Play on wards could save this game here. Where's the Magnet Storm coming in? Done on the Malphite. Looking to hit on the Nexus turrets.
What a
the
big
deny, but the
deny.
huge 3-man Gnar into Magnet Storm combo, but it's just not going to be enough. Rel's already taken down. Luxon is just getting Chain CC, and CZ is dead, and that is going to be game 2. And ladies and gentlemen, We're going to game 3.
I think that Denial is what won them that team fight. And Asian showing up with that W at the last moment. Because I think if
Just
CZ
steadfast
hits
presence,
that,
just-
I think if CZ hits that Gnar, I think they're all just dead there.
I think so as well. I genuinely think so that they just get killed if that happens. It's
Yeah.
just, oh my gosh.
A completely different game this time around. Solar really showing up and showing out. I think there were moments where Ruby could have won that game, but like, unlike last game, they just had. It was a 5v5 fight instead of just playing with their hands. They couldn't push the advantage they had because once one team fight goes even and team fight comps are even, it just depends on who pulls those buttons better. And Solar did that this game.
It was just all about who landed the first CC into the second, and consistently over and over again, we just kept seeing Outrage land the Scout of the Week combos onto key members, whether that be play on wards as the engage with the follow-up Malphite ultis, or onto backline carries as well. I mean, Luxodon did get picked at the start of the fight that took down the first Nexus turret. So, speaking of, I don't even have a good throw to break on
You know
this
what?
one.
You know what the most important stat this game is?
What is?
Malphite outdamaged a Kaisa and a Rek'Sai. And
I will never trash R5 Malphite again. I swear.
with that one, let's see if we get another R5 Malphite in game 3. We'll see you on the other side of the break for draft.
you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes Vi. As a matter of fact, the best bet one has is to quickly react to the first attack and sing for the beats. You should never pull back, just resist.
And welcome back. Game 3. ET Solar versus Dynasty Ruby. ET Solar on the blue side, Dynasty Ruby on the red side. The Kha'Zix first ban coming out from ET Solar, and Neferi coming out as well from Ruby. Let's see how the drafts change up, because
Ban Malphite.
there were drastic games. There was drastic difference between game 1 and game 2.
Ban Malphite.
Ban Malphite.
Or
Doesn't look like
R5.
it.
Or
You see
R5 of this
two-
Ruby.
We see two Worm Jones junglers. We see two Worm Jones junglers. Sorry, Super Gremlin junglers getting banned out. Echo,
You
the
good
flex
card.
pick between Nation, and Outrage being banned as well. See if they change anything up here. Are we going to see the Rel first pick from ET Solar? Is Dynasty Ruby going to respond with it?
I think we could see the first pick out of Rel for ET Solar, because unlike for Ruby, it is an actual flex pick for Solar, I think.
Mhm.
I honestly, I don't know what Penelope's father plays, besides the 2 champs we see them play tonight, and one was drastically...
Oh.
Sorry,
Roban?
Pro Gamers. I won't say drastically better. It was an
Gamer
upgrade.
move.
Zach Ban.
Zach ban. Okay. All right, so 3 junglers coming out from ET Solar, 2 mids and a jungle, or a mid and a mid jungle flex from Ruby. Are we going to see the Rel ban? Are we going to see something like the Kaisa potentially? Are we going to see?
I was not impressed by that case of that game.
I wasn't either, but is what it is. Okay, Rel ban
Yeah,
is
Rel
actually going to
ban.
come through.
Malphite. Do it. Slam it.
Just R1, B1 Malphite.
B1 Malphite. Fuck you. It went, I mean, screw
B1
it. It went
Malphite
even last
as well.
game.
Oh, the
Is it
Tristana is
Tristana?
up though. Ooh, Tristana has been banned all series long at this point, but it is actually going to be up for game 3.
But it was always against Ruby. So I
Yep,
don't
it
know
was.
who. I guess.
Because you could B1 Trist. B1 Trist is super strong right now.
I would much rather see a Malphite at this point.
I know you would.
It won you the last game. Why not
know
pick
you
it?
would.
Like, yeah. Look, I get to talk about one champ that I know because Bard is never going to be played by anybody else.
Bard is not going to be played. Okay.
Bard will never be. We're
Xayah
gonna see the
responds.
Xayah. Okay, Xayah's good. Xayah did win
Zyra Khan?
both games. Xayah won both games. So we'll see if the Xayah remains undefeated in this series, or if it's going to get dethroned in the final game.
Watch it
I-
just get dethroned.
I would.
I'd be
like
okay with
Rakan.
it.
I think the Rakan pick is just solid. Obviously, two champs that came out together should be played together. But we're gonna see that
Ooh,
Nico.
Nico.
Okay,
Nico from Codis.
definitely. No. This is a flex pick, my man.
Is it?
But you could play it jungle. You could play it support.
This does not scream Super Gremlin champ to me.
Easy's gonna play on hit Nico top and carry this game.
Hey, don't be hating. It's good.
It is.
Hmm.
It is. If you get Nico on Howling Abyss, if you play ARAM, go on hit Nico. Do not go AP Nico. It's more fun that way for yourself and not fun for
Okay.
everybody else. A Maokai pick. Maokai's super solid jungle, even with like constant nerfs and fluctuation and buffs and everything. Champ is still going to be as good as ever. The ultimate is game changing. You get free vision from the little sapling little dudes. So I think Maokai is always just going to be very prevalent until they like really nerf him where he can't do anything in the game. And we're going to see a Seraphine hovered and picked, which is still a flex pick here.
Okay. Seraphine Trist can kind of hover between the 2 lanes.
The big thing with blue side is what a lot of people forget. Like, yes, you get the best B1 in the game because you get B1, but the strong thing about blue side is flex picks because it prevents you from being countered by what right side gets inherently, which is counter picks. You can get, if you play your draft right, you could get 3 counter picks on the red side, but
Back
flex
to
picks-
Diego.
I'm not surprised. I think there was a
Me either.
contrasting difference between game 1 and 2 with the two performances by Gremlin. Yes, he got ahead early on Rek'Sai, but Rek'Sai kind of fails to do anything towards the later part of the stage where Viego just keeps scaling.
the
And we're gonna see
Malphite
the Malphite
The
ban.
Malphite ban.
Put some respect on his name. Malphite getting banned away from Psycho Ghost after kind of solo carrying most of that game with his ultimates and teamfight prowess.
Malphite ulti is just really good.
It's an unstoppable
Crazy.
force for a reason. I like this ban. This is a very
Yeah,
good
it's
ban.
good.
Don't even.
I don't think
even
it's.
talk about it.
I don't know if it's completely necessary, but at the same time, like, Nico could be like support or something like that, and the Silas could come through into Seraphine
Dude,
and
Silas
Maokai.
top,
Seraphine,
Silas-
Maokai.
Silas top,
Mm-hmm.
Nico top. I told you.
Like Silas is also a really good pick into Tristana. Like
I told
they
you.
could trade well into Trist.
I told you Nico top. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
Of DMing
Like the
season.
lethality poppy last game, I'll believe it when I see it.
DMing
Nico
season
top.
right
I'll hit
now.
Nico top.
With
Okay,
DM season.
Renekton Malphite, 2 top lane bans going thrown out at this point. Are we just gonna see Ornn on 4? Ornn on 4 for CZ?
I mean, we could see it. I wouldn't want to see it. I'd rather see a support on 4 and just save counter pick for 5 like you should do on red
Well,
side.
like, Rakan. Like you
Rakan
can
is
just
still
slam
open,
Rakan
like-
here.
No, they're gonna slam feeds OTP,
Okay,
which
yeah.
is Nautilus. I think
Nautilus.
you can go Rakan, you can go Naut, you can go Ali. Those are all really good champs, and Wards can play all of them really well. But I think his Nautilus and his Alistar specifically are cuts above his Rakan. Not saying he's not a good Rakan player, but his Nautilus is just like his Nautilus is kind of next level. Like that's what he's known for in my book.
Understandable.
Is Nautilus.
It's understandable. So we see B4, B5. One pick top's gonna come through. Okay, All-Star,
Ali.
which means
We're gonna find out where these champs are going. in just a
we're gonna find out
second.
where these two will go here in a second. But Pine pick top is
Pine pick top.
Ornn. I
another
mean,
Ornn
they
game?
banned the Olaf, so this screams Ornn to me. But at
Wait,
the same time,
wait,
there's
wait,
other
wait.
picks.
Okay,
What are you gonna
if
tell me?
ET picks Ornn, there's something that was left up this game that has been left up the rest of the series. Mordekaiser's still available.
Camille. I don't
Mordekaiser
know.
has,
I don't like the blind Camille.
Mordekaiser has been banned all series on both
Has been.
sides.
It has been.
You know, I don't know if CZ plays it, but I really like Gragas into Camille. Just because Gragas Belly Bop wins all interactions, it's a
Does.
very weird coded ability like that. So you can really neutralize Camille, especially with just the way he works in lane. The big
And
thing
we are
is
being
the-
rated by ET. The party of 10. Welcome to game 3 of Dynasty Ruby versus ET Solar.
We're gonna see.
And it's gonna be a Jax
Jax
1-5.
pick. Okay,
Okay.
okay. CZ saying, "I'll fight you. You want to fight? I'll fight." What? Imagine if I had a real weapon.
Cho'Gath ulti? Nah. I can dodge Cho'Gath ulti. It's cool.
You
It's
know,
like-
I want the big brain thing of I want him to build the Zonias like he should, and I want to watch him Zonias a Camille when she's about to dive down on him.
I learned something interesting in my Camille game that I played a couple weeks ago.
Sounds like a
And it's not going to
personal
come to
problem.
fruition in this game because no one's going to build Duskblade. But if you have Duskblade and you're in Camille ulti and the Duskblade procs, it cleanses Camille ulti.
Yeah, because you can become untargetable.
And with that, we are going to throw it to a break. I'm going to go into the spectate delay. We are going to come back. It's going to be game 3, ET Solar versus Dynasty Ruby for the, I believe, first place spot in the Chemtech group for Aegis Guardian League, but I had to double check it in the break. So we will see you guys, y'all, in about a couple minutes after the break.
その虚しさの指示何を見て何を探してきた自分の声がただ響く幾千万の星の中で惹かれて出会った守り手たちよ回る回る時の輪の into what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy. A solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last light. Hearing voices from afar, join the madness when the curtain falls. Risk it all, hold nothing back. Seize the day, we must attack. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of a world that we defy.
And we are back. Game 3 of ET Solar versus Dynasty Ruby. Team switching sides, draft plans changing up significantly. We do see that Tristana is going mid lane and the Seraphine is going bottom lane. So, Chung, we're here. We made it.
Here.
Game 3. What are you thinking?
Camille has no flash. Not surprising.
Not surprised by that one.
Triple TP for your Solar. Jax
surprised.
took Doran's ring, not Doran's shield.
You mean
Little
D-Blade?
surprising. That's what I meant. What did I say?
Yeah. You said D-Ring.
Oh yeah, I meant D-Blade.
War done.
A little surprising on that one. And then exhaust on Alistair, no exhaust for the Jax on the side of Ruby.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting choice there. I mean, I don't know who would take exhaust. Like Nautilus with exhaust feels really bad. And
it does. I think that's the big thing.
Luxodon kind of does need to take cleanse this game. So there's really no one who could take exhaust on the side of, it also doesn't matter because like Camille does true damage, exhaust doesn't stop true damage, so it doesn't really matter because like if Camille's gonna get the true damage to off, you're gonna die regardless.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't matter, but it could be interesting because it could always stop her initial burst of damage if she doesn't combo it correctly. So, the most interesting part on this is also the runes in top lane. One has grasp, one has lethal tempo, the item difference, one's like more sustained in lane, one's like for the heavy trade. So it's definitely gonna be curious. And we see CZ just get the advantage here, but it's a nice trade back and the hook down.
Lands on the bottom side, but the push, the headbutt away for Luxodon. Brute's actually gonna land with the blade caller, and the Ignite's gonna go down onto Penelope's father, and they're gonna trade really hard into this. And Dynasty Ruby is gonna come out with an early advantage on this.
Yep, that's Ward's knowing how to play Nautilus, man. It's like
Land hook.
Yeah, yeah, you can Alistair can counter the Nautilus, but if you're a good Nautilus player, you're gonna know how to play around that all the time. Being able to get him back in once he disengages you. So it's really good play there by Wards. The one I'm curious to see if he gets is when Alistair goes to headbutt into you later in the game and you cue him in. Like you saw me do with Blitzcrank before, and completely stop his engage.
Yeah.
It's a really fun interaction, and if you time it right, it's pretty disgusting, but like it's very niche and actually doesn't really change all that much, but it can because of Alistair being the main engage force. Like he's gonna run down with the twisting advance of Malphite or Nature's Grasp. Is that the ultimate? Is Nature's Grasp? And twisting advance is the W.
Yeah, twisted advances. Yeah, Nature's Grasp.
Yeah, so
we did miss there that Outrage actually looked bottom lane and was spotted on a ward. So good early ward there from Lux, or play on wards there actually saved them on the play potentially. But this mid lane is getting pushed back out into Outrage.
I mean, he doesn't lose anything for it. Tristana just has free shoves in the wave all the time, so can just get roams like that just for free without really wasting any time.
Oh, let's see if something can happen here. I think they know that he's in that middle bush. Yeah, they noticed. They got the proc, so they're gonna be able to back off. Super Gremlin's gonna base after doing a full clear. Both junglers. Well, actually, did Nation miss a camp? Did he skip a camp? I think
He skipped
did.
wolves, I think.
Or did he not get a crab? No, he got top crab. He must have skipped wolves.
I'm gonna do some scouting for us there. He did skip wolves.
He skipped wolves. Okay,
He skipped wolves.
interesting. Okay. Super Gremlin towards top side of the map, playing around the lane that doesn't have flash. We start walking in. I believe hookshot's down at this point too, so the stun's gonna come through, and that's just gonna be a dead Camille. Oh. Yep. Okay. So, flash forward from the Viego, flash forward from the Jackson. That's gonna be first blood on the top lane for Dynasty Ruby.
Yeah, really good gank there out of The side of
As we
Ruby.
see, Penelope's father is in the mid lane, but they're going on the wrong one. Flash is going to come through from Reboot Van. The exhaust is going to go down. The explosive shot was already used, and that is going to be Reboot Van escaping from a precarious situation.
Really well played by them with that W, saving their life there, getting them to follow the clone. A little bit of LeBlanc mechanics coming out there, but yeah, like we were saying with that top lane gank, really well played by CZ and Gremlin ganking the lane that does not have the flash. Camille not even TPing back to the lane, choosing to walk it all the way out, huff it out, and yes, CZ did flash for it. Ooh, excuse me, and so did Gremlin, but getting that first blood money onto Jax is just really big at this point.
It is massive. Giant wave pushing into, and is just able to trade back and forth. Oh, denies the hook shot. Gonna get a good trade there back and forth with the Sheen procs. But this might set up a situation where the Maokai's gonna have to come bail him out just in case he gets dove.
Yeah, and that wave is
Outrage walking
massive,
forward.
too.
Getting the shot down, but the clone comes through, denies most of the damage. Camille able to actually catch the top wave, but they see the Maokai on the top side, so the pings start to come down from Dynasty Ruby onto Dragon. And unlike the last couple of games, Ocean Dragon early on, Penelope's father? Ocean Dragon would be really good in these lanes.
Yeah, it really would. It would it would mostly help a bot lane more than you think of every other lane, just because Seraphine is running TP. It's very hard to punish Seraphine in lane if they're good at what they're doing. Just keeping their health up, wasting their mana, getting an instant TP back into the lane, and just CZ is just going to keep bullying like this whole lane now after that first blood.
Absurd.
So-
The spider's actually going to come through. Super Gremlin's going to be able to pick it up, and Nation's the one that actually dies at the red buff this series.
Yeah, the first red buff it made me see it. It's not Gremlin, and
It's
so
not
it's
Gremlin.
not Gremlin dying. The big thing to remember about Jax is one of the first champs that came out with League. Jax is old as hell, which means he has old.
X Flash coming in. Diego going to get caught. The Unstoppable on the Encore coming through, but gets the Pop Blossom as well, and that's just going to be a disengage, and Dynasty Ruby is just going to be able to escape with 2 ultis. But that's going to be Dragon looking over to ET Solar with the Camille TPing down.
Yeah, they
Unless
lose.
They're
Drake
looking for a play on
this one.
bottom side.
Yeah, they still lose Drake for this one, regardless if a play does try to come out bot lane. But yeah, good disengage there by Van. Yes, he does use the ult, but he was trying to reset anyway. He had no mana, so wanted to TP back to the lane. And Outrage, I think you could try to fight that. Like, if they didn't waste both ultimates and everything like that, they could have tried to fight that. Just because Outrage hadn't reset yet.
Yeah.
And Van did. But they had no ultimates, The Wiz are in a weird spot. They're playing for the Herald, so it's fine. And then just back to the Jax point. Jax being an old champ, and the way his kit works.
Nation's Grasp is going to come through. They're looking for it. Super Gremlin is going to die.
But-
Again. Well, not again. I guess it's just the first time. But gets the Rift Herald, so that's a kind of worthwhile trade there.
2 ultimates used for it, which is definitely interesting. And it being Camilo is huge because Jax can just go for a tower dive now and not be worried about getting locked under that turret. And like the big thing to remember with Jax is his W. Like him being an old champ. Oh my gosh, the explosive shot going out.
I mean, that was really a good trade for Tristana there, anyways, since the Nico was already running away. But yeah, no, the clone mechanics from Reboot Van right now are really good.
Yeah, but the Jax W, like most people just think of it as an auto reset in the early game, but it's the ability to max first, just because it's such a drastic difference of it being level 1 to level 5. The amount of damage that it helps pump out once it's level 5 when you go for those WQ combos into an E, you'll just start chunking people. And like that's the thing with Jax being an old champ. His kit is very simple. The amount of damage that it packs is way more than anyone would expect from a guy just jumping at you and spinning a little helicopter around.
Yep. Gets the helicopter going, can dodge a little bit, and then
It's just it's old champ syndrome. Annie does the same thing. Like Annie has so much front loaded damage.
X Flash
It's kinda
coming out.
ridiculous.
But Penelope's father is on a ward, so they must know because back to all instantaneous.
Yeah, they're
I'll
gonna
start
control
back
ward it now.
instantaneously. Okay, Pop Blossom comes through.
Oh,
Flash
wait,
comes
wait.
in
Flash
as well.
in.
Nature's Grasp is going to come in, but that is going to be a dead Outrage. And Nation is going to also be looking to be on the receiving end of the Heartbreaker, but it's just not going to be enough damage.
What a
and that's going to
good
be a 1
play.
for 0.
What a good
Rotero
play out
is
of the
most likely going to come
mid-support
down here
Ruby.
unless Nation.
No,
Oh,
Nation
he-
just dies.
He twisted advanced in, and I think that actually was the death of him. I think he would have been fine. He just had to walk
He doesn't
away.
have to do that. He just walks away and it's fine. But like, what a good play out of the mid support duo there for Ruby. You know, both flashing to get that kill onto Outrage. You know, his W was down, not respecting and not flashing away, not using Buster Shot. It just gets bursted down as soon as he tries to go for a trade on Van there with the roam timer for wards. Really like that play out of him. You know, getting involved on the map early with this Nautilus.
Yep. It's a really good start for Dynasty Ruby. Already up 2,500 gold. Oh, the lollipop almost hit.
I mean, Wards has the agency to just like walk around the map whenever he wants because Seraphine can't threaten Zaya. Like, if Zaya ever dies 1v1 to Seraphine, Zaya has
Either
drastically
of these
misplayed
bot laners
everything.
die. If Lux dies to Not So Dark or Not So Dark dies to Lux, then like in a 1v1 situation, then they just misplayed because these two are really safe.
I think
in
the same
lane.
thing kind of goes for mid in like 1v1 scenario. It's like the only place I think we'll see 1v1s is this top lane. And at this point, I don't think Camille's winning it unless they get a jump on him because look at the item difference and look at the gold diff already. It's kind of crazy.
It just depends on how the Counter-Strike gets played. Like, situations like this where it just makes all of the difference in the world. I mean, that's a good trade back, but it's still stunted the first 60% of the trade coming out of the Camille and forced her not to be able to use the hook shot.
I think if CZ was running Grasp there, that's just a way better trade for him too. Like,
I think if he runs Grasp, this game is definitely way harder for Camille.
Yeah, oh, 100%. Because that trade, instead of being like even health at the end of it, he's just up. He's just up 3/4 to half.
Rochelle coming down in the mid lane. 3 people chilling in mid. CZ is going to get a little bit of a trade, force the hook shot out. It's going to be plates going over. I believe, yeah, okay, Reboot Van just got back in range of it. But I believe that was only one plate that actually fell. The second one is, yeah, 1 hit away. As you can see, 1 hit away from that plate. A little bit of a fight over control board. Too much going on. Dragon spawns in 5 seconds. Both teams posturing for it. Jack's getting the first reset with the TP up. Might potentially be an issue for ET Solar based on the fact that Sicko Ghost is
He's TPing
not.
in already. He's TPing in.
That's a TP on the bottom side. This is a flank coming through. Nature's Grasp is going to come in as well, but are they going to be able to burst out the Nautilus beforehand? Oh, the Nautilus is 1 HP, but here comes the Pop Blossom in as well. The Encore comes in a little bit late, but Viego is just getting resets upon resets in the back line of the fight. Penelope's father is going to get taken down as well, and Not So Dark is going to get killed off. Also, this is going to be a disaster for ET Solar, and the 4th kill is going to come through as well. CZ's on a killing spree. It's a 4-for-1. Dragon is going to go down, and Dynasty Ruby is in the driver's seat.
Wards lived for so long in that fight and only died because Nation smited him. I thought Wards was just gonna die and that fight was gonna be over. But CZ rushed into the aid of his support and everybody else quickly backing up. Luxon got nothing in that fight. Was he even there?
No, he was just pushing bottom.
Yeah, so even better for Ruby.
The
like,
aftershock from Nautilus just got so much value there at the beginning of the fight.
and this is why we run Aftershock and not Glacial on the Nautilus. Like, that's the example right there. That's all you need to see. Right at home, folks.
Double Trinity Force finish for Dynasty Ruby. See the Rocket Belt coming out, Kraken Slayer onto the Zaya also. They're hitting their spikes. I mean, the only one that hasn't actually finished their first item carry or outside of the support role is actually Outrage, but it is really close to finishing. He's really close to finishing Kraken Slayer, as we do get a pause. There was a pause that came through.
All
Ruh-roh.
right. So reading the chat, apparently Ruby's no. Play on Ward's girlfriend Ada's cat apparently is what they stated in the chat, but I don't believe
okay.
that's true.
All right, so we're already on pause. So Rift Herald gets taken by ET Solar, so that's going to be not as high value as first Rift Herald, as we see Sicko Ghost going in as the delay from the pause comes through.
That pause OP. Small indie company people. Let's
Small
remember
indie
that.
company.
Can't fix this. That's
The
been a bug
freeze
for,
after
like,
the pause coming
this
in.
bug has been a thing for like 6 patches. We can't fix it.
It's great. So
Nothing happens from that play anyway. Who cares? Both walk away.
both walk away. I'm still stuck on the screen, so
Oh, you are?
yeah.
Shit. Hold on.
Nice. Okay, there we go. We're back. We're back.
Anyway,
On time.
yeah, I'm
Small
talking
indie-
about
small indie company.
A small indie company not unpausing 2 games that people were in at the same time. Quite impressive for Vito.
Sicko is actually just still pressuring in the jungle, but here comes CZ. CZ's walking down. Hookshot's already gonna come. Oh, play on wards. Almost pulled him out.
So
Nico
the big
also
thing to
here.
remember is that we have the Leandries and the Demonic Embrace. I mean, of course, those are the items both those champions build, but they're definitely less valuable this game because they do % health damage and there's no tank on the side of Ruby. So I feel like Leandries is what you have to go on Seraphine, but I feel like you could have actually rushed. You could have debated a Rylai's rush this game. Like, yes, you would have lacked in damage, but like you have a Tristana and you have a Camille, the amount of assists you'll give them. What a
Oh,
flash
the good
ball.
catch of the Pop Blossom from Reboot Van into the chain combo from Play on Wards, and Outrage is dead. Outrage is gone.
Wards deserves that kill. Justice for my supports. He used his
Tried to get the
ultimate. He
Buster shot
deserves
away,
it.
but Nico being able to Pop Blossom while invisible like that, ridiculous.
And they
Plenty
flash
champion.
too.
And the flash. Yep. Invisible, flash, doesn't matter. Gank him, CC him, focus him, doesn't matter.
Sounds like Cassante.
The original, gosh, who was that? Aurelia. Remember, old Aurelia passive used to give tenacity when she was outnumbered.
Yeah,
There
do you,
was a
remember
song.
do you remember what her old E used to do?
It used to, if you were lower percentage health than the person you were targeting, it stunned them.
Yeah,
So you would
wait,
literally
wasn't that
eat the
her-
first
wasn't
auto
that her
attack.
Wasn't that her W?
I thought W was the one that gave
Was
her
it W the
bonus true
heal
damage.
one? Yeah, and the
W
healing-
was the one that gave bonus true damage because it was like her true blade form.
Yeah.
And then E was called Equilibrium Strike because
Yeah,
if you were
dumb little
literally, you could have been 99% HP and they could have been full HP. As we see Outrage jumping in, he guessed right, and there's gonna be a little bit of a trade. That's gonna be the Rocket Belt forced out as well. As we see Super Gremlin coming down, jump is down at this point. He's gonna be able to, he's gonna be able to dodge out of it. Super Gremlin looking to go underneath the turret. Heartbreaker's gonna come in as well. And Snare is gonna land from Reboot Van, and that is gonna be Outrage dead for the 4th time this game.
Speaking of old champs, do you remember old Yorick?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That was one of the first champs. I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play this champ just because nobody knew what he did, and I never. Saw... I was the type of player back in the day who used to be like, "What's a champ that nobody plays?" And that's how me and my friends discovered
Bro,
Trundle.
New York. York is actually really good right now as we see a Rift Herald getting dropped into the mid lane.
That's how me and my friends discovered the old Trundle.
Oh my gosh.
Like OG Trundle. I think this might be first turret. It's not gonna be first turret. We're gonna see respond in Force from Dark. Really good to force that out and not let them get the first turret. But back to my important point of old Trundle. That's before, boys and girls, buckle up, it's grandpa time. This was before mythic items were a thing and you used to have to buy your runes and shit. We used to learn that split push, like old Phantom Dancer. You remember old Phantom Dancer?
Old PD,
You
yeah.
just got to walk through shit.
Yeah.
just gave an insane amount of attack speed. It was like we
Ghost
did,
Waltz. You used
we
to be
just-
able to walk through everything.
yeah, we just did that and like Trinity Force and just would build like split push top trundle before that was like an
Back
actual
in my
thing.
day.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Nature's Grass coming out on the bottom side. But Nation's going to get intercepted. But the Pop Blossom's already going to come through, and Nation's going to be taken very low at
Very
this
low.
point. Reboot ban, looking to trade. Penelope's father and
CZ's here.
Be coming in from CZ as well. This is going to be a full 5-on-5. Oh, Sicko Ghost is going in. Gets the Camille ulti down, but Super Gremlin is going to...
Dies to
Super
the
Gremlin's
ignite.
going to dodge, so Camille shuts down Camille with the
Died to
ignite.
the ignite. That's actually a small saving grace for that,
That was
play.
saving grace. Outrage.
Oh
Getting
my
flash hook.
gosh!
Oh my goodness.
If Wards had the
Rocket jump is
there,
kind of OP. Luxodon actually walking into a pretty bad spot at this point.
he still has
Gonna get jumped on.
everything though.
Other
it does-
Storm is going to
it
come
doesn't
down.
matter.
CZ is going to go in as well. Penelope's father is going to get taken low, and that's going to be a flash stun on
Flash for
T2.
flash.
Luke's going
No,
to come
Outrage
in.
flashed it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still stunned Not So Dark and Penelope's
I
father.
didn't see it
So-
stunned Dark on the backside, but Outrage immediately flashing when CZ flashed in. Good mechanics, but it doesn't really matter in the end of the day. Your team still got
Two
WAD.
dead. Dragon alive. This is going to be second Dragon over to the side of Dynasty Ruby.
Also,
Up 10
Luxodon is
kills,
allowed to just
up
like walk.
6,000 gold. Looking pretty good for him at this point.
Yeah, Luxodon can just walk up like that because he didn't burn a single thing in that fight bot side. He still had cleanse, he still had flash, he still had ult, and it just baited Solar in. And this is a type of comp I really do like Ruby seeing. They're like, we're the better team. We're gonna prove it to you on these harder to execute teams that have like really no front line, and we're just gonna be better mechanically than you are. And we've seen that this game. We saw it in game 1. It's when they decided to play like 50-50 straight up gamble on a team fight every time, and that's what ended up costing them a game this series. And you know, they're up 5k gold at this point. Yeah, it's not the massive gold lead they had game 1 where they were taking a Baron at this point, but they're definitely in a very comfortable position. And you know, saving grace for Solar, they're very good at defending these turrets. Like 2 whole turrets have been taken this game, and that's like that's something you don't always see from gold leagues. Gold's dead from platinum leagues.
Oh, Super Gremlin getting caught out a little bit. Camille ulti's going to come through as well. No one's going to be able to come in and save him yet, but the follow-up potentially
Oh.
afterwards, they just don't do enough damage. Play on Ward's going to get caught by the Nature's Grasp and then get focused down. The CC coming in through onto Reboot Van. Play on Ward's is going to be the first casualty in the fight, and Reboot wasn't able to get the Pop Blossom off. So initially trying to get a pick onto the Viego ended up being a kill onto the support, and it's going to be the mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, everybody's here. There's no wave clear.
Oh,
Ghost.
Camille jumps in. Snare's going to land, though.
Yeah,
Maybe no follow-up.
CZ choosing not to queue in there because he would have been CC'd away. He would have been headbutted away by the Alistair. His stun wouldn't have mattered. So I respect the play not going for that, because also it could cost you your life where Alistair just knocks you up and then head play you backwards once you ease down. It could cost you your life. So I like the waiting for it, and yeah, I like this. Well, we're going second item here on Jax. Some go Black Cleaver. He's ahead. He's building Spirit Shogun second item. And that item is kind of insane right now.
Pretty
So
good.
I really like seeing
Oh
this
my
item
gosh,
built,
the
and I
trade.
really
Holy
do want to
cow.
see him build the Zoni's Hourglass. It's so good on Jax right now after they kind of slightly reworked the way he does damage, like he does more AP damage now. And also, you can start a team fight by counter striking, queuing in, hitting Zonias, and then by the time you're out, counter striking
jumping
up
in,
the next
but
level.
here comes the response. 3 people on the top side with Luxodon rotating up, kind of sitting in the middle between. Jackson not actually dodging the Cho'Gath Q, I mean the Camille Q. Kind of jumps out. Kind of a little bit of a stalemate at this point. Quiet point of the game.
Yeah,
As-
this is
actually,
a
who am I
little-
kidding? It's not a quiet part of the game. It's Not So Dark actually flashes and ult at the same time. Asian getting jumped on.
Asian?
I'm gonna come through. Dodges the Q, I guess, to the Scuttle Crab, but Crab's gonna be picked up by Super Gremlin. Dynasty Ruby have all of the vision control over the Baron area.
Yeah, we're kind of just in a lull state right now. You know, neither team really willing to commit resources to the bear, and they're just going to commit vision to the area, make sure the other one isn't on it. We're taking it. not trying to force something. The next fight we're gonna see is around this next Drake that's
Oh.
spawning.
Alistar just walking in, eating a hook, getting rooted a little bit. Lux kind of in a weird spot in the middle at this point, but Blade Ward is just going to get bumped to safety.
Yeah, neither team really there to support their supports. So the supports kind of just slapped each other a little bit, and then
Supports of the supports.
yeah, support. You catch all that?
Yeah, I loud and clear,
All right,
obviously.
cool.
Good job. Proud of you.
Yeah, but yeah, no, neither support had the backup of their team there, so they kind of just went noodle fight a little bit, and Alex was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, buddy, let me help you out a little bit." Headbutt in the way.
So second item's coming through. We already talked about the Shojin. We already talked about the Cleaver onto the Viego. But we do have the Rylai's coming through for Not So Dark. So
That's the build.
E activation is going to be get the guaranteed route every single time. So, but also Quick Blades has been finished for Luxodon. People are getting in towards the second items. And we really just want them to fight. I just want them to fight. Like, come on.
I mean, yeah, can we get the fight over with?
It's
my
not fun
bedtime.
stalling time talking about how old Aurelia could just walk up to you at level 1 when you're both full
Oh,
HP, press E,
wait,
and
I
then
forgot. We didn't talk about old Yorick.
you could literally create a clone of your teammate.
Oh,
Yeah. Speaking of
wait,
old
never
Yorick,
mind. Hold
there's
on.
a Baron getting started.
Yeah, fuck
Oh
old
my
Yorick.
gosh, this is actually
This
a
is
good
the
call.
slowest Baron I've ever seen in my
This
life.
is a good
though.
call because Ruby is focusing on.
It's
Actually,
a really good call,
Easy's
but
gonna know.
like,
Easy knows.
there it is.
Easy
Yeah,
knows.
no. They got vision. That was the play. I was
TV's
like,
gonna come through though.
This
This is gonna go down. This is gonna go down by the time he gets there. Aegis for Grasp is gonna come in. That's gonna disengage. Pop
It's a
Blossom is gonna come through. It's gonna be
Pop
4v Pop Blossom from Reboot Van, but he's gonna be able to get. He's gonna get pushed out of the fight by the Buster shot, but the stun is gonna come through. CZ's gonna trade 1-for-1 at this point. Salty going into the backline. Luxodon's walking in. Nation already in the back. Reboot Van's gonna get taken as low as well. Camille Ulti's gonna come down to Worm Jones. Super Gremlin's running up the river, but Playout Wards is already dead. Lux is in a bad spot. Featherstorm is already down. That is gonna be 4 kills over to ET Solar. And a Baron.
Went down so slow, but the second Tristana showed up, that Baron went so fast.
One zoom.
The biggest thing in that team fight, once again, Luxodon just not auto attacking. Like, definitely an interesting call by him.
Lux is just not auto attacking in fights.
I think the second they saw the Baron, Solar was on Baron, they should have not committed to that Drake with Gremlin. He should have just sprinted up in that top lane, and it would have just been a reset city for him. I think they could have just aced them, even if they got the Baron. They could have just.
They are on skulls. That's their win con at this point, to try and hemorrhage this Baron, because now we were talking about Dynasty Ruby was up 5,000 gold like a couple minutes ago. Now ET Solar's up 1,000 gold.
Yeah, gold bounties are kind of insane.
Gold lead has swung back and gone into their favor at this point. So ET Solar is in the driver's seat. But it just takes one. It takes one fight. It takes one big Pop Blossom. It takes one Jax counter strike going in with the follow up. It just takes one, and it's just they just have to win one fight. Like,
I mean, we did have the one big Pop Blossom, but Luxodon just was not in. No one was in range to dish out damage after that 4-man Pop Blossom. His team was still so far away. He was trying to get the play started, and they did get it. He did get it started for them, but Luxodon just never really got in range there to deal with the damage. They only killed the bot lane for Solar.
wasn't able to.
But like, yeah, Luxodon was just not auto attacking while he was kiting away during that.
As
fight.
Ghost jumps into play on wards, the follow-up CC, this is a lot of crowd control coming down at this point, and that is going to be the Seraphine ulti also used from Not So Dark as well. Steric's also popped from Ghost. Just going to be able to base, get health back, TP the top lane. Although I think the turret's going to be dead
No,
by
they're
the
just going to
time.
give it up. He's not even going to TP for it. Yeah.
Save the TP. Outrage pushing in the bottom side. Explosive shot on the turret. That is just so much damage.
And then we're
This
going to see
champion is
that.
stupid. Aegis Grass coming in. It's actually going to land. If he guesses right, he gets right. Pop Blossom is going to come through, though. Buster Shot is going to land. Depth Charge going into the back line.
Oh, no.
Outrage is caught. Outrage is dead.
Oh,
That's the
no,
shutdown.
what a
And the
hook.
hook follow-up onto Nation. Here comes the
Wait,
TPs. TP from everybody is going to come through at this point.
Wait, wait,
Nation
wait,
1 HP. Penelope's father goes in. Camille's gonna go. Camille's gonna be able to pick up the kill on Nico, but Viego is gonna start getting the resets after the resets after the resets at this point. It's gonna be the shutdown picked up by CZ, and this is going to be Alistar going down as well after the stun, after the root, after the full damage comes in, and that is going to be 4 kills over to Dynasty Ruby, and just like that, 1,500, 2,000 gold in the lead now.
You like how big ol' nothing happened in the mid lane at the same time? They
Yep.
kind of just cleared waves with each other.
Both ADs just pushing minions.
Just staring at each other, just worrying about those farm numbers.
Oh, not so dark.
Oh, Dark
Flash
Heaven.
early. Didn't even lead with a stun.
Yeah, really good team fight there for Ruby. And so I really like this build out of Nautilus with this Abyssal Mask. The damage that Nico's gonna do in a team fight now is insane,
absurd.
especially once he gets that Shadow Flame that he's building up to. And if Jax, he's not building it, he's building a Ravenous, but you know, if he would build a Zonia's, the amount of bonus AP damage he would get to do.
He still does a lot of magic damage, this kid, though.
He still does. It's just a lot of base magic
Power
damage.
W, the auto on the third ulti hit, both are magic damage. Counter-strike damage is actually magic as well. Digger Ghost is going to jump onto Reboot Van.
Right.
Oh. Hook shot's going to be up
CD?
shortly. That's going to be the Rocket Belt forced out.
No,
But
he's
still chasing.
going for it.
Camille ulti's going to land. Ignite's going to go down as well. Let's see. Is Digger Ghost going to be able to finish off the kill? No. Reboot Van is going to have to be forced to flash away.
The big
30
thing is
seconds to
he's
soul.
not going to have flash for this soul fight. While
No.
if they could stall it, Camille could be up for it. So it really comes down to how fast Ruby's willing to commit for this and how fast they actually can burn it down.
See if the flip, how big of a flip is going to come through. Ruby has control of the entire bottom side of the map at this point. It seems like just massive control over the river. Really hard for ET Solar to walk in because they don't have a quote-unquote tank. Here comes the TV from the backside.
Hits Nation.
Nation's
And
going to get the hook in.
Dark has no
Pop
flash
Blossom is going to
either.
come through, but the Seraphine ulti is going to come in as well, but they're just going to focus on Seraphine. Seraphine's dead at this point. First reset coming in for Viego. Outrage jumping into the backline. Featherstorm was already used as well by Luxodon. That's a 1-for-1 at this point. CZ getting jumped on. The hook shot's going to come through, but it's not going to do anything. And this is going to be looking like the Soul is going to be able to be picked up by Dynasty Ruby because ET Solar can't walk in.
They're going to try to walk in, but who knows if it's too late.
Hook shot coming through. Camille ulti's going to be back up in just a second. Are they going to be able to get there in time? Luxodon has flash. Luxodon's going to get caught by the Camille ulti. Sticker Ghost is going to go in, but they're going to be able to trade back into this. Luxodon's dead. Super Gremlin, half HP, coming in. CZ looking for the counter-strike, though. Sticker Ghost is going to be taken down. 1 HP. First reset comes in for the Viego, but the Nico is already dead, but here comes the resets. Viego is just popping off at this point. This is going to be a double. This is going to be a triple. CZ dies, but I don't think it matters because the Viego is still alive. Actually, it does matter because Dark just came back up and it's going to be able to clear ways. Oh, Gremlin gets the stun off. Shark's going to come through as well. Get the speed up.
Going for it.
He's going for it. He's going to be able to get the stun.
He
How long
gets
is
it.
the last next but oh, Krugs. Seraphine's gonna only be able to land the root. Penelope's father's gonna get out alive. Super Gremlin not able to pick up kill. But holy, you know what, man? This is wild. This is a wild game.
Yeah, no, it's definitely wild, but you know, Ruby, every time they get punched in the teeth, they're still swinging back to really keep the pace of the game where they keep the position in the game that they want. They're up. They're the ones with the waist pushed. Like, yeah, they get knocked down, but they get up again. You ain't ever gonna get them down.
You know, they have a ton of structures to get through too because they've only broken the first turret in each lane.
Because
So
of how low range their comp is, they really do need Baron to be able to siege. Like Nico is very low range.
they're looking towards it.
They're gonna clear the vision here.
Clear
and
vision. I don't think they're gonna commit to it
Solar to
though.
walk into them, so I'm curious to see if they set up a trap for it. But we'll see what happens.
Camille is pushing on the bottom side. Does have both top laners have TP, and they are on the bottom side. Seraphine is just clearing waves, just eating them up over and over again.
Ooh, this could be
This push.
This could be game over.
Nation spots it out, but they're gonna jump onto Nation. That's perfect. Oh, the Seraphine ulti lands onto 2, but it's gonna force the Featherstorm out early on, and the Nature's Grasp comes in as well. First reset is gonna be looking to come through for the Viego here. Reboot Van was on the backside, but he
got
gets
Buster
pushed
Shot
out by the
out.
Buster Shot. But that's going to be first reset for Viego. Pushes a
Yep.
headbutts Nation over the
Camille
wall.
is sprinting
Camille's
there,
here first. Camille's here
tailed
first.
by Jax. Jax might need to
Gremlin
TP
push
just to
back
get
in.
there first.
There's no Pop Blossom. There's no ulties on. No all. Wow. There's like no ulties
Camille's
on
hunting.
EC Solar. Camille looking to
Oh,
go for
no.
left. Then gets caught. Gets chain CC.
Split
Gets
the
rooted. That's
upright.
another reset coming through. That's a Dark gonna get jumped on as well. 1 HP, dead. Super Gremlin dominating. This Viego is popping off. Just immediately jumps over the wall, and that's gonna be Baron over to Dynasty Ruby.
Yeah, no. So really well played there by Solar. Originally to start the fight, you know, keeping them at arm's length, you know, kind of almost able to win that fight. Nico not getting the Pop Blossom like they wanted, but kind of just over chased, and Camille missing the hook shot between both people and immediately getting blown up, and then a beautiful E by Rebuvan. I think it was at max range, hitting the Seraphine to stun them up to cause them to go down, causing Baron to go over to to Ruby.
Yeah, that was a really well played fight from Ruby. Patient, knowing when to look for their moments, and knowing when to capitalize on mistakes too, because there was a couple of mistakes made in that fight.
I didn't unplug my headset. What are you talking about? Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, really capitalizing on the mistakes and overextensions, like you finished up there for me. Thank you very much for the coverage. But this is this is what Ruby needs to be able to start sieging these towers. Is this Baron buff? Like there is really good wave clear on the side of Solar, but you know, super minions, can minions be canyon minions, man. Look at these things.
Cannon minions be cannon minions. Jax and Camille are just pushing in the top side, or Jax is pushing in the top side. Camille is grouped mid, and Outrage is actually clearing the side lane. But Solar is looking desperately to defend this turret. I don't know if they want to take a fight under it. Jax isn't here, but they're 5 strong.
I think Gremlin should just run to bot lane here and just get that going, pushing for them.
Someone needs to push the bot lane, but actually Camille is overextended at this point. Snare is going to land.
It's not going to matter. Alex is creating good pressure in his zone right there, make sure nobody can walk in. But if somebody just walks to this bot lane, they could just potentially get a free turn. We see the ping on it. Gremlin's going.
Finally got it. Finally got it. They know how to read the map. They knew the wave was already there. Mid tier 2 is down. Top 2 tier is down. Bot 2 tier is going to fall here in a second for Ruby.
And Jack's still on that split push. I don't really know who can...
The Ruby's about to gain on this game with this Baron buff is going to be crucial.
And they're going to get resets in now, getting ready for that Elder Drake fight. Really good timing by them, you know, getting everything they needed on the map. Jax is still going to push it one more wave because I don't think Camille can actually 1v1 him at this point and then get his reset in time for this. So it's really going to come down to this Elder fight for Solar in this series.
Viego staying on map. CZ not getting a reset in. They're going to push out mid.
Well, CZ could always reset late, and
Solar's going to push in through bottom, but there's going to be vision. They're pinging the ward. There's a ward at the Krug pit that they're looking at. Oh, never mind. Ward's gone. It's on red buff. Oh, they're walking in.
Oh,
no. Gonna come through. The Buster Shop is going to save them, though. The knockup's the only thing that's going to land. Oh, huge Seraphine also comes through, but the Feather Storm comes out as well. Nature's Grasp comes in. It's going to root up the back line. Play on wards is already down. The fight is starting to look so good for Solar. Did Ruby just throw this game away? That's going to be a double kill over to Outrage. Sterix pops from Viego, but that's a triple kill. And that's going to be the potential push. Camille's going to get the stopwatch down. It's going to try and delay CZ as long as he can. Oh, flash over from CZ. But it's just going to be a dead Camille. But it's 4-on-1. What are they going to do? What's ET going to do? Are they going to push mid? Are they going to go to Elder? Is someone going to have to respond to CZ? Oh my gosh, this game is on a nice edge that we thought that Ruby had control of the game, but it looks like Elder Dragon is going to go over to ET Solar.
I'm really curious to see what CZ does here. I'm not going to TP in. I thought it could 1v4. I was ambitious for him, but you know, doing the smart play, not forcing it on there, and now they have to try not to they can't take a fight here, but they also have to play now into Tristana Siege with an Elder buff. Is really, really scary at this point in the game, considering how long these death timers are getting. It could cost them the game, losing that team fight right there. And You know, good for Solar finding the angle to get back into this game and really putting them in a spot to be able to come home with the W tonight.
There are double TPs on the solo lanes, but they also don't have any flashes to follow up. The only flashes are on the jungle, the AD, and the support for Dynasty Ruby. But at the same time, if you look at the other side, I'm going to see Not So Dark has both sums up. Ghost used Ignite in the last fight. Nation's going to be able to flash twisted advance somebody. They just need to force a lane as 5. Like, they have Elder on 4, or at least it's 4. They have Elder on 4 people. Like, they're sitting stagnant at this point. ET Solar is just kind of wasting this Elder at this point before this Baron comes up in 50 seconds.
Yeah, and that Baron actually might just be the last fight of this game. Because I think with how long death times are.
Dark just TP'd in. They're looking... I think they're committing to a push, just because you wouldn't TP the Seraphine in if you weren't committing to a push. And there's also a GA on Tristana now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Solar's definitely going for a risky play, but it could be high rewarding if it works out for them. But you know, you could also see where you don't get your reset timers up in time, and it could cost you the Baron, which could cost you this game.
Elder's already 3/4 of the way done, and they've only gotten 1 turret off of this. They might be able to force it in, try and get an inhib. They're going to try and brute force in. Stun's going to land on the outrage, but the inhib's going to be already dead. Meal's already pushing in on the top side, and they're just going to peel back.
Yeah, so Baron's up here. You know, they cracked the right inhibitor is being the stun one. Hold on.
Follow up root, but he's going to be able to just twist it advance to a minion, get to safety.
Yeah, so they broke this bottom inhibitor, which is definitely the best inhibitor to take when you're trying to take that Baron, just because it has a lot of threat with how it's positioned on the map and how quickly you push stuff. It's not like it's mid lane where you're able to respond to it easily. You have to actually take the time to respond to that lane, push it out, or, you know, keep it set for something like that. So it's definitely a good call by them to force that, and we're going to see Ban here.
Nico is getting jumped on early on. The Paw Blossom is going to come through, but the Charm is going to come through as well. Nature's grasp is down. Reboot Ban is dead. This is a 5v4. Outrage jumping in, looking for resets. Luxodon has been jumped on at this point. He tried to get the Flash Feather call, but it didn't work. Luxodon is down. Outrage is on a rampage. CZ in the back line gets the stun off. Can reboot, or can Gremlin get the resets? No, he cannot. And that is going to be 4 members of Ruby dead. They did it. I think Solar just won the game. TP coming in on the bottom lane from the Camille. They're going to look to go force through mid lane. The combo is going to land. Gremlin is dead. Ruby has lost. ET Solar looked at the fight properly, got the chain CC down, and that is going to be the game.
Really well played there by ET Solar to be able to come back in this game after being down and close it out, getting the dub and handing the first loss of the season to Dynasty Ruby, creating that circle of suck at the top half of the map.
The circle of suck at the top of the Chemtech group has been officially completed.
All the teams that have beat each other in that circle.
I think Ruby's still. I think it still is Ruby 1, Solar. It'll be Ruby 1, Solar 2. No, because Bing Chiller. I don't know. We'll let them figure it out once they actually get that. But that was a really well played game coming back into it. I mean, the gold graph from that game, I'm curious what it was like, because it just probably was a roller coaster. It was one of the gold graphs if I've ever seen one. So
yeah, definitely heartbreaking for Ruby. I thought at points of the games they definitely should have won that one, but like I think the biggest note I have for the series is just Luxodon's team fight wasn't up to snuff in games 2 and 3. Just like not kiting out correctly and autoing at the same time. And I think if a few fights play out differently in that series and those plays Luxodon's actually just free firing and autoing, it definitely looks way different for them.
we have the gold. We have the damage chart here. Luxodon did 4th most damage on the team, but was able to out-damage both Dark and the Camille. By doing 29,000 damage is just absurd to me. That champion just needs to, disappear into the abyss and never come back.
Yeah.
Where
But yeah, no, definitely a fun series. Definitely an interesting series. Definitely makes the group more interesting now that the I think undisputed favorites really of Ruby getting taken down here definitely makes everything a lot more interesting. And I'm curious to see how the rest of the season plays out. Any closing thoughts for you?
really well played from both teams. That was such a fun series to watch, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the season uh, plays out for this, especially because cross groups start in 2 weeks, and we'll probably be playing against these teams. So
Yeah, definitely be looking forward to that one. Definitely looking forward to see what happens with the rest of the season here. But for us, I think that's gonna do it for tonight. So I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight, Mr. Coach Bolton,
no
and
problem. Let's go Mets.
yeah, let's go Mets. Thank you, Woony Wookie, for doing production for us tonight. Really appreciate it, especially on such short notice, sticking through us with all 3 games here. Um, Definitely a banger, and we'll be seeing you guys next time here on the Dynasty channel for more league action out of the Dynasty teams. Have a good night.
Thanks everyone for watching.